Manitoba. It is Thursday, July 17th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. The Winnipeg Fringe Theatre Festival kicked off last night. Ainsley McPhail is live at Old Market Square this morning telling us about some of the performances you could expect, as well as some of the new things happening for the Fringe. But first, your headlines. Tow trucks being used as tools in a string of vehicle thefts. We've obtained exclusive footage and new details on a growing trend that has residents and police on high alert. Historic, but hanging by a thread, we reveal which buildings in Manitoba are now on the endangered list and why it matters. And this watermelon didn't just taste sweet, it literally blew up. Experts explain why it happens on hot days. Bring it in, Terry. Now, it was not too hot.
Is this something we have to be concerned about now?
Maybe, but we didn't have that kind of heat yesterday.
No, we're not going to see that kind of heat anytime soon. In fact, the temperatures still over the next couple of days will likely remain a little bit below seasonal. On the clearer side, it does look a little bit hazy out there. Perhaps that's just our camera view. I noticed a distinctly clearer start to the day compared to the last couple of days. And a lot of that has to do with the winds. They were out of the south this morning. At the moment, they're out of the west, 9 clicks. 6 degrees right now, so it certainly is a little bit cool and chilly. Pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 93%. Seasonal would be 13 degrees, so we're not even halfway there, starting in at 6. Taking a look at the warnings map, and you can see smoke has certainly wafted right back in again all across northern Manitoba. You are back under that warning, with east central Manitoba under that advisory. On the clearer side here in the south, and as I mentioned, it seemed to be one of the clearer mornings that we've noticed as far as, you know, kind of taking in that nice breath of air. And in fact, for parts of southern Manitoba, I mean, here's what I'm going to recommend. Crack that window. We've got these cooler temperatures right now, so let some of that cool air in. If you crack the window and you notice the smell of smoke, close it. Right? Let's not be foolish. But what I was noticing out there is that it does seem a little cleaner, a little bit crisper, and certainly that kind of air that you might want to welcome in for that freshening of your indoor space. Across northern Manitoba, the possibility of some showers, maybe some thunderstorms into the day. We're likely to enjoy just a mix of sun and cloud. Tomorrow, possible showers with thunderstorms cutting through the southwestern part of the province. Still not a whole lot here in the southeast until we're looking ahead into next week with a few extra clouds building up this weekend as these temperatures eventually get back to the seasonal 26.
Thank you, Terry. It's a story you saw first on CTV News. Brazen car thieves using tow trucks to swipe vehicles off Winnipeg streets. On Wednesday, Winnipeg police say they've arrested 2 people and seized 2 tow trucks after several instances of vehicles being whisked away in the middle of the night.
Now, when I watch the video, I kind of can't help but laugh at just how fast it was.
Tia Sawa shared this security camera video from Monday night with CTV News. As you can see, an unidentified tow truck quickly backs up to her red 2005 Dodge Caravan, slides the wheel lifts underneath, and takes off within 30 seconds. We can now tell you we've learned the Winnipeg Police Service's Property Crime Unit has arrested 2 suspects in this case, and they've also seized 2 tow trucks.
I trust that the Winnipeg police are going to resolve things quickly and people are going to get their vehicles back, hopefully in working order, and things can just resume back to our regular lives.
This is the second incident like this that we've reported on this week. There's no word on whether or not police have found Sawa's Dodge Caravan or any other stolen vehicle. Police are being tight-lipped about the case, only saying, quote, as this is very much an ongoing investigation, we will not be accommodating for further comments at this time. An updated release is expected at a later date, and at that time, we will have more we can disclose. Anyone with information regarding stolen vehicles, including surveillance video, is asked to contact the Property Crime Unit or Crime Stoppers. 2 teens are recovering in hospital after being shot near the Winnipeg airport in an area where wildfire evacuees are staying. Police say it happened around 2:40 p.m. Tuesday in the 1800 block of Ellis Avenue. 2 males aged 18 and 16 were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. However, one is unstable condition and needs surgery. A police spokesperson couldn't confirm whether or not anyone involved is an evacuee, but their press release notes police liaison teams are visiting evacuation centers to ensure everyone feels safe. Vacant, neglected, or at risk of being demolished, there are dozens of heritage buildings and historic structures around the province facing an uncertain future. And each year, the Manitoba Historical Society releases a list of these endangered spaces to highlight the importance of preserving the past. CTV's Daniel Halmerson has more.
The Peck Building has stood here at the corner of Princess Street and Notre Dame Avenue for more than 130 years. It was first used as a clothing company's warehouse and later became a staple of the city's garment industry.
It spoke of a new century and of new hope for Winnipeg in its golden age.
But now the historic building sits empty and fenced off, and its future use is unknown.
Look at its location. It's in the heart of downtown Winnipeg on major routes.
The Peck Building is one of the Manitoba Historical Society's most endangered sites in the province this year. The annual list highlights buildings and structures threatened by neglect or redevelopment. Gail Perry from the MHS says the Peck Building made the list because of its distinct architectural form.
The fact that it marries Romanesque architecture, which you see all around the exchange, but also its addition is Chicago style.
Other places, some hiding in plain sight, tell stories of significant importance to Manitoba's growth.
They might even think it's some kind of prison because of this big concrete wall around it, and it's not.
The Rover Electrical Terminal in North Point Douglas started delivering power from Point du Bois to Winnipeg and beyond back in 1911.
This building, in a sense, is the beginnings of electrification of Manitoba.
It was only decommissioned by Manitoba Hydro about 5 years ago. The Historical Society's Gordon Goldsborough says the site will likely remain an electrical distribution hub, but worries the building itself is now obsolete.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to know, why are we spending all this money keeping this building up? Let's just tear it down and we'll get rid of that liability.
He says protecting, restoring, and adapting these types of spaces are keys to preserving Manitoba's history and identity.
It gives you insight to how we've got to where we are today so that we can then confront the challenges of the future.
Daniel Halmerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Other structures on this year's list include the St. Peter Danavar Rectory in the RM of St. Andrews, the Lake of the Woods Grain Elevator in Cameron, and the Lauder United Church, which served a small congregation in southwest Manitoba for 120 years. You can see the full list on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. More than 50 candidates are now registered in the Alberta by-election, where Pierre Poilievre hopes to win back a seat. Dozens of independent candidates are running in the riding of Battle River Crowfoot. The list stems from a coordinated effort by an electoral reform group, which is aiming to break records during this by-election. Poilievre lost his seat to the Liberal candidate in the Ottawa area riding of Carleton in the spring election. In that election, 91 candidates were registered. Now, former Conservative MP Damien Currick gave up his seat, paving the way for Poilievre to replace him in the riding. The by-election is set for August 18th. Watermelons can offer a nice explosion of flavor, but every so often when it's hot out, something strange happens. This watermelon exploded hours after it was brought home from a Montreal grocery store.
Sugar gets converted into gas inside the watermelon when it gets really, really hot, especially in the summer.
Some experts say because the peel is thick and airtight, pressure can quickly build up. Who knew? All right, here's a look outside now at Confusion Corner. It looks like things are moving well, starting off this Thursday morning. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Old Market Square. It's a great place all summer long, of course, but the Fringe Festival really lights it up. Good morning.
Good morning. Lit up like a Christmas tree, Rochelle. 12 days of Fringe, 12 days of Christmas. This year's theme is Choose Your Own Fringe Adventure. And if you head to their social media, they have 4 different Fringe mascots that kind of fit for that theme. So you can do whatever you want, whether it's enjoying someone like Sarah Tickle, who we're going to be chatting with, who's going to be doing Kids Fringe, or hanging out by the beer gardens here with tons of different food options. There really is something for everyone. About 150 different acts or companies from all over the world. There's, of course, local companies, 92 different new options. So if you're a regular Fringer, you're going to see something new. every single time you come to the festival. Different themes too, lots of comedy, there's magic, and there's accessibility options as well for people who are hard of hearing. So stay with us throughout the morning. We might even see some live performances.
I love it. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Terry, for your Thursday morning cuteness, here's an adorable game of peekaboo. Oh, this cute cockatiel can't contain itself when the towel lifts up and has to say peekaboo to its owner. The playful bird learned from parroting its owner and now won't stop playing the game. Oh my goodness. I could listen to this all day. Look how cute he is. Oh. I love how he's in that little pocket. It's so cute.
Oh, that is precious.
How is it feeling out there right now?
Cool enough that I grabbed the jacket.
Okay.
Got where's my CTV branded jacket? Represent. Okay, yeah, it's chilly out here. 6 degrees, that puts us well below seasonal. 13, that would be a normal low temperature. Yeah, you can feel that chill out here. I'm still noticing fairly clean air. I wouldn't say like it's smokeless. I certainly wouldn't use that word, but if I were at home, I'd crack a window. I don't feel like there's enough of an aroma or enough poor air quality that I would not want this inside my home, because it feels like it's been days where we've been allowed to crack a window. Not allowed, but like where you would want to. Anyway, with these crisp morning temperatures, if you want to cool down your space, if you're lacking in AC, because it will be warming up later on today. We are still looking to be below seasonal with our temperatures, but probably getting a little warmer than yesterday, up around 23 degrees, and we are going to now start to notice that warming trend for the rest of this week as we creep toward those seasonal temperatures this weekend. Winds remaining on the lighter side out of the south has kept some cleaner air around. For northern Manitoba, totally different story. Those smoke warnings are back in place once again. Taking a break right now. We'll be back too with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
Good morning. The City of Winnipeg says it's making good on a promise to plant a tree for every tree it removes. However, an unusually dry spring and summer have left some newly planted trees in rough shape.
It's a tough gig to be a boulevard tree.
In places like Lyndale Drive Park, some newly planted trees appear to be dead or dying. We also spotted some worse for wear boulevard trees on Hull Avenue and Kingswood Avenue in St. Vital. Trees Winnipeg says newly planted trees often look stressed due to transplant shock. On top of that, Winnipeg has received about a third of our normal rain amounts this year. Trees Winnipeg Executive Director Christian Cassidy says newly planted trees will often take several months to look healthy again.
I wouldn't panic. The trees are being watered. The trees are being looked after, and some of them just take a while, and some of them, a very small percentage of them, will not make it. It just happens in the tree world.
Cassidy says the city hires contractors to plant trees. They're in charge of taking care of the trees for the first 2 years. If you see a struggling boulevard tree near your property, Cassidy says feel free to give it some TLC with some extra water and call 311 to let the city know about it. We're learning more details about the hijacked plane in BC.
It was quite an orderly process. The aircraft landed, RCMP responded, the lone occupant was taken into custody.
Court documents show Shahir Kasim is facing hijacking and terrorism charges. We've also learned he's a former commercial pilot. Sources say the 39-year-old booked a tour in a Cessna in Victoria. At some point on the ground, he threatened the pilot with a knife. The pilot was able to get away. Then the suspect took off for Vancouver. The suspect apparently told air traffic control that his plan was to shut down the airspace for hours to bring attention to the climate crisis.
Vancouver's first line of duty is to protect any other aircraft coming into the field, which they did. They diverted 9 flights as far away as Calgary and Seattle.
NORAD confirms American fighter jets and Canadian CF-18 Hornets were in the process of responding to the hijacking. But minutes later, we're told to turn back when the Cessna landed in Vancouver and the pilot was arrested on the runway. The whole incident caused 39-minute ground stops at Vancouver's airport. The Prime Minister revealed new measures to help boost Canada's steel industry, which has been battered in the wake of Donald Trump's punishing tariffs and as the U.S. targets Canada. CTV's Heather Wright tells us who Canada is now targeting.
This Hamilton, Ontario steel fabricator has been in business for 70 years and had been sending nearly 70% of its products south of the border. Now that number is close to zero.
This is Steel Town for a reason.
The Prime Minister was in Hamilton announcing measures to help Canada's steel industry. By the end of the month, Ottawa will tighten the quota for steel coming from countries without a free trade agreement like China and Turkey to half of 2024 levels. Anything beyond that will face a tariff of 50%. This measure is aimed at reducing foreign steel that has flooded the Canadian market, much of it diverted here after the United States imposed tariffs on the global steel industry in March. And with Canadian steel producers effectively shut out of the U.S., Mark Carney says this will help them sell their products domestically.
For Canada to build big things fast, we need our steel industry to advance, not retreat.
As Canada embarks on massive infrastructure spending, the Prime Minister also announced that any companies bidding on government projects will have to use Canadian steel.
We will change the federal government's procurement process to require companies contracting with the federal government to source Canadian steel for government contracts.
The tightened quota and increased support for laid-off workers announced come after the steel industry said measures announced last month didn't go far enough.
We got things going on south of the border. We can't control all of that. But what we can control is here in Canada. Let's make Canada the best.
Asked about ongoing trade negotiations with the United States, the Prime Minister would not say what level of tariffs Canada would accept, nor would he say whether Canada would impose additional retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. He said both were good questions, but said answering them in the midst of trade talks would be a bad response. Heather Wright, CTV News, Hamilton, Ontario.
U.S. President Donald Trump is lashing out at what he calls past supporters over persistent questions about the so-called Epstein files.
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net.
Earlier this month, the U.S. Justice Department insisted Epstein did not maintain a client list and said no more files related to the investigation would be made public, despite the Trump administration suggesting more material was going to be revealed. The Winnipeg Jets have released their regular season schedule for their upcoming 2025-26 season. On October 9th against the Dallas Stars, the team that knocked our Jets out of the playoffs in May. The team has an 82-game schedule, including 8 games in a row at Canada Life Centre in early March. The Jets also have 2 games against former Jets coach Paul Maurice and his Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. And in February, the team has a long 20-day break while the 2026 Winter Olympics are underway. You can see the full schedule on the Winnipeg Jets website. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic at Portage at Polo Park. It looks like things are running pretty smoothly over here so far. No issues to tell you about. If you see problems out there, though, please let us know.
All right, so still you can see a little bit of that haze. I'm not noticing the aroma of it so much when I'm stepping outside. It does feel or smell a little fresher and cleaner. Looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It is a little bit cool this morning, so I've been saying if you want to crack a window, today would be the day. We've had winds out of the south, so it has cleared out that air somewhat, and it is feeling a little bit fresher, certainly. But yes, well below seasonal, 13 degrees, a normal low. The only double digits that we're even seeing across southern Manitoba. Portage La Prairie coming in at 10, Kenora at 12 degrees. But other than that, most of us are in the mid to high single digits to kick things off. Not as mild as northern Manitoba, who is in the double digits, and even some mid-teens to begin the day. Look at that, Island Lake at 15 already. There are the smoke warnings, though, back in place across much of northern Manitoba. That's all of the purple that you're seeing there. The yellow, that's the statement or advisory regarding the smoke. Only east central Manitoba and parts of northwestern Ontario, but many of us remain without those warnings in place this morning. There you can see on the satellite image just how clear it is, and we may see a few more clouds off and on throughout the day today. Temperature-wise, we will start to get a little bit warmer than it's been, but still cool this morning and pleasant through the day. 20 degrees expected or low 20s by noontime today, and then pushing up into those low 20s, topping out at about 23 degrees here in Winnipeg with similar temperatures expected around the province. Slightly slightly shy of the seasonal 26. There, Rochelle, where's she at? I put her football in for Friday's game. We will enjoy some sunshine that day. Continues to warm up back up to the seasonal 26 by the time we're looking ahead to the weekend. What a cool shot here of all of these seagulls lined up along the Matlock Pier. Thanks to Diane for this great photo. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break right now. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. Sjogren's disease affects hundreds of thousands of Canadians. The majority are women. But as CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, a lack of awareness could mean there are many more who are undiagnosed.
A decade ago, Leanne Elnicki had a really slow recovery after a challenging bike race.
Unfortunately, I was kind of gaslit, you know, like I was looked at and said, oh, there's nothing wrong with you.
It's not until she had dental problems years later that she was diagnosed with Sjogren's disease.
About 1% of the population has Sjogren's disease, so in Canada, that's about 400,000 people.
It is an autoimmune disease, but we don't know what triggers it.
And it has a multitude of possible symptoms.
It starts off with the 4 hallmark symptoms of dry eyes, dry mouth, joint pain, and excessive fatigue.
But Dr. Leslie Lang says patients, who are mainly postmenopausal women, are often dismissed, leading to years of suffering before they are correctly diagnosed. Elnicki says dry mouth sounds minor to some people.
When you're not producing the same amount of saliva, your teeth aren't as protected against bacteria. So unfortunately, I'm 52 years old and I'm looking at getting dentures now because I've lost all of my molars. And it's embarrassing. It's really, it makes you self-conscious, as well as there are just foods that you can't enjoy anymore. A lot of times when you're missing teeth, the assumptions that people jump to are incredible. Like I've outright been accused of being a drug user.
And there's no treatment, just management of symptoms.
There are medications that people can take to help with joint and body pain. There are medications that people can take to help with dry eyes, dry mouth, etc. So in some cases, it means going to multiple specialists.
And there are serious long-term implications.
It affects the lungs, it affects the heart, there are cardiac issues, obviously with dry mouth, it's trouble with swallowing food, so the gastrointestinal features, liver features, and there's a greater chance of getting lymphoma and cancers.
Elnicki says people experiencing symptoms need to push for a proper diagnosis because awareness of Sjogren's disease is low, even in the medical community. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Winnipeg's favorite cultural celebration is back, and we want you to go. Folklorama returns from August 3rd to the 16th, and we're giving you the chance to win a pair of 2 tour visas, giving you access to explore all 44 pavilions. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and then enter the clue word, world. Good luck.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Looking outside, it's a cool 6 degrees. We've got winds on the lighter side, just 10 kilometers per hour out of the west. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 91%. That 6 degrees is certainly one of the cooler temps we've had so far this season. I know I said that yesterday when we had dropped down to 7, but now we're at 6. All right, fairly clear conditions as far as the smoke goes. We have no watches or warnings or advisories issued through much of southern Manitoba. Still in east central Manitoba, that advisory remains, and new back again is the smoke warning. We saw it in Saskatchewan over the past couple of days, and yesterday during the show we saw that extending right to the western border, now pushing through much of northern Manitoba, so air quality quite poor in those areas. I've been saying today might be one of the better days to even crack a window. Yesterday we had those cool temperatures, but it was definitely smoky. We had those north winds in place yesterday, and then they shifted overnight. They've been out of the south. They're at the west right now, but a southwest wind is expected through most of the day today and staying on the lighter side, so hopefully keeping this cleaner air around. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that anyway. 23 degrees, so a little bit warmer than yesterday, but still slightly shy of seasonal. 26. That's normal for this time of year. And then 13 is a normal low temperature. We're going to get closer to that this coming night, a little bit milder than this past night was, with a few extra clouds hanging around and still those winds out of the south. South winds remaining for tomorrow. This is good news for us here with the air quality in the south. 24 degrees gets us a little bit closer to that seasonal 26, which will likely hit by the weekend, with a few more clouds and eventually some much needed rain by the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Manitoba's Ethics Commissioner has ruled the Minister of Innovation and New Technology did not break the province's conflict of interest law. The opposition Progressive Conservatives accused Mike Morose of being in a conflict by answering questions about a 911 service outage while owning shares in TELUS. Ethics Commissioner Jeffrey Schnoor says Morose did not make government decisions involving TELUS, and there is no ban on ministers owning shares in publicly traded companies. The Tories said the 911 disruption occurred at a time when a 55-year-old man had a heart attack and loved ones were unable to get through. A $6.8 billion overhaul is underway for two of the province's big transmission lines. Manitoba Hydro is in the planning phase to replace aging equipment connected to the Bipole 1 and Bipole 2 lines. Hydro says the work is needed now to ensure the system remains reliable. CTV's Jeff Keel explains why the project's price tag might change.
Manitoba Hydro is moving ahead with billions of dollars worth of upgrades for two of the province's major transmission lines.
This project is a significant project, very expensive.
The Crown Corporation says it needs to replace equipment at the converter stations for the Bipole 1 and Bipole 2 transmission lines, which were built in the 70s and 80s. It says the work is vital, as 70% of all electricity generated flows from the north to customers in the rest of the province.
So it's very important that we maintain the reliability of the system by replacing some aging infrastructure in that system.
The project is in the planning phase with a timeline stretching to 2037 at a cost estimate now of $6.8 billion. But Hydro says that figure could change based on the scope, timing, and market conditions.
So it's possible the price could go up, the price could go down, the price could change, but we're doing that work right now to establish those facts.
Hydro is currently asking the Public Utilities Board for 3.5% annual rate increases for the next 3 years for its operations, and its long-term projection forecasts the same amounts. The Public Interest Law Centre, which represents not-for-profit groups, says Hydro needs to prove why this project is so crucial now.
In the upcoming rate hearing, based on Hydro's history, our clients will be asking whether Manitoba Hydro's cost estimates are accurate and whether this expensive project is truly needed now.
That history includes the Bipole 3 line and kiosk generating station that went $3.7 billion over budget. The Premier defends the latest upgrades, saying this is all part of a plan to make Manitoba an energy superpower.
This is exactly the leverage that Manitoba has as a low-carbon energy power.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The hearing at the Public Utilities Board to consider the 3-year rate application is set for November 17th. Police are still searching for answers around the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan. It has been 2.5 months after they went missing.
A tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work is underway by people here at home and in other parts of Canada.
The Nova Scotia RCMP says this investigation has grown into one of the biggest in its history. Investigators are poring over 5,000 video files and following up on more than 600 tips. Police have confirmed they did find a pink blanket that belonged to Lily Sullivan. It's now being tested. 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan were reported missing on May 2nd by their family in Pictou County. There is new hope of delivering a deal as unionized workers get ready to vote on Canada Post's final offer starting Monday. Stalled negotiations between the Crown Corporation and 55,000 postal workers have lasted months. The latest offer includes wage hikes and plans for 7-day-a-week delivery. The vote will run between July 21st and August 1st. More doctor training seats are being added in the Westman region.
People from rural Manitoba are the most likely to stay and practice in rural Manitoba long term.
And that's why the government is adding another 10 seats in Brandon, doubling the number available there in partnership with University of Manitoba. To accommodate the increase are multi-million-dollar investments in a Brandon Health Centre expansion and upgrades to the Brody Science Centre at Brandon University.
All of this work is creating an environment that is going to really appeal
to new learners and also appeal to the folks who are going to be supporting them in their journey.
Upgrades at BU are expected to include new science labs, while renovations will be made to the health center's library to provide medical students with dedicated learning space and access to equipment. RCMP in southern Manitoba are asking you to keep an eye out for a rather hard-to-miss item that was stolen earlier this month. Mounties in Carman say someone stole a windmill similar to this one from a property in the RM of Gray sometime between July 4th and 6th. The RM is about an hour west of Winnipeg on the number 2 highway. The windmill stands about 25 feet high with 6-foot blades. RCMP say there's a good chance someone in the area has seen it. Anyone with information is asked to contact Carman RCMP. Here's a look at what's happening along the Norwood Bridge. Things are still pretty light over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see problems out on the streets, though, let us know, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.37. The provincial average is lower at $1.31. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.30, and the lowest price in the city is $1.19. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
The Winnipeg Fringe Festival 2025 is officially upon us again, and you're going to tell us more about what people can expect this year. Good morning, Ainsley.
Rochelle, there's been 38 Fringes, including this one. Chuck McEwen joins me now. Are you planning for 40 already?
Well, I'm thinking about it, but I'm getting up there. I could use a break, maybe.
Wow. What can people expect this year?
Well, this year we've got 145 indoor productions from Manitoba across Canada and around the world to come out and enjoy putting on all kinds of shows. Musicals, dramas, improv, you name it, we've got it.
And some people are pretty hardcore about this. For those individuals, there's new stuff as well.
Well, you know, there's always new plays. This year we have 93 original new works, and we've got a lot of first-time performers coming in, so it's always great discovering what the next big hit's going to be.
Local and from around the world, it really is a combination of the two. Let's talk about that diversity and what we can expect for both.
Well, you know, we've got artists coming in from Australia, New Zealand, Germany, the Netherlands, the UK, and what it is that we're allowed to see what other artists are creating from around the world, and it also allows those artists locally to see and develop their own skills as well. It's kind of interesting.
Well, like we said, it's almost at 40 years, but you want to develop it for the next 40 years as well. The best way to do that is get the kids interested. Kids Fringe, too.
Kids Fringe, Kids Venue. We've got artists doing plays for kids. We've got kids here doing crafts and games at Old Market Square all day long, something for the family. Plus, we've got our bands and buskers at Old Market Square stage as well.
Everybody's always looking for affordability, and Fringe has those options. It really does range when it comes to prices. You want people to know that this is accessible.
For sure, accessible and affordable. So everything here at the park is pay what you can admission or free. Our kids venue at the door tickets are all pay what you can. We've got a lot of $10 promo performances, and maximum ticket price is only $14.
My next question is inspired by the fact that I haven't had breakfast yet, and we are standing in one of the entertainment hubs. Lots of opportunities to eat and drink too.
Yeah, when you come in between shows, stop by the park. You can grab a snack, some dessert, a little bit of curry if you want, an empanada, all kinds of variety here at the park.
Thank you so much, Chuck. And I think he's lying to me. He'll be here for 40. He's going to be here for that milestone.
Yes, you better. All right. Well, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a good day to be outside. Enjoy the Fringe, maybe.
Absolutely. I was just about to say I'm starting to notice that smoke in the air, but it's not so heavy or dense that it'll keep people from whatever it is that's going to draw them down to the Fringe. I mean, there's also those indoor venues as well. So you can sit in Old Market Square for a little while, and then maybe when it might be time to take a break, or if you notice air quality and deteriorating, then you head on indoors. Here's the thing about it. We are going to deal with some winds out of the west through the morning hours. And west of us, we do have some of that smoke in parts of Saskatchewan. Now, later today, those winds should be shifting out of the southwest. And I think that's when we're going to see those improvements once again. It is a cool start to your day right now. It's 6 degrees, well below seasonal. Normal for this time of year would be about 13 to kick off your morning. So cool temperatures to start out. And earlier on, we had south winds through most of the night, and earlier I was saying it smelled like some of the cleanest air, but now as those winds have shifted slightly out of the west, starting to notice just a little bit of that aroma. Now, the west winds, like I said, will become out of the south again. For northern Manitoba, you've got smoke warnings in place. There is a chance of some precipitation today. That might help with the situation. Of course, showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and it's the thunderstorms that we don't need. Temperatures right around the province pushing up into those low to almost mid-20s. It will be a little bit cooler than seasonal here in the south again. Taking a break. We'll be back soon.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Futures are headed in different directions ahead of the opening bell. Dow futures are down 87 points. NASDAQ futures are inching up 2 points. S&P futures are off slightly, down 3. The Canadian dollar is also ticking up this morning. Overseas, the Hang Seng is down 18, while Japan's Nikkei is on the rise, gaining 237 points. Good morning, it is 6:45. An RCMP officer will not face charges after shooting a man on the Trans-Canada Highway near Portage la Prairie in 2022. According to the Independent Investigation Unit, the officer was attempting to pull over a vehicle believed to be connected to an earlier break and enter. The two vehicles became tangled together and came to a stop on the highway. The Mountie got out of his vehicle and fired shots at the other vehicle. The officer stated the driver was attempting to drive towards him and he feared for his safety, while the driver says he was just trying to get away and the officer shot him after he had already passed by. The IIU says the man was shot in the buttock and a ballistic report showed the bullets entered the driver's door from behind. However, the Manitoba Prosecution Service determined there is no reasonable likelihood of conviction on potential charges. MPI is increasing the number of seats available this fall for its popular high school driver education program as it gets ready to open registrations. There will be nearly 4,700 spots available for Driver's Ed when registrations open at 8 a.m. on July 23rd. Driver's Ed uses a mix of e-lessons, virtual and in-person classes, along with in-car sessions. The course finder will open this Friday to plan ahead, and parents and guardians are encouraged to take steps in advance to set up their new driver as a customer through MPI or an Autopack broker and purchase the Driver's Ed program. Sign-ups on the 23rd can be done through Autopack brokers, MPI contact and service centers, or by calling the driver education phone line. Trump's tariffs are putting the brakes on more than just trade. The auto industry is taking a hit. CTV's Adrian Gabriel shows us how it's trickling down to consumers and whether government relief is doing enough.
This is basically your American stuff here.
Walking his warehouse floor, manager Moshe Bouillon points out the harsh reality facing Canadian consumers.
We're selling it for like 40% more just because it's cost so much to get.
Tariffs are taking their toll.
This aftermarket brake pad made in China costs about $20 to $30. Same part, made in America, now runs $80.
High W40 engine oil?
The struggle to find new suppliers outside of the U.S. has also left shelves bare with little product to sell.
We've been spending so much time contacting new suppliers, trying to think outside the box to make prices lower for the average person. And we just can't go to these American manufacturers anymore.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business surveyed 187 small to medium-sized automotive companies and found that revenues have declined by an average of 13% since the trade war began.
I think we're suffering the most because we're not making huge profits already.
The CFIB claims the provincial programs set up to help the auto sector in Ontario have provided little assistance to small and medium-sized auto parts businesses.
No one wants to invest in their business when they don't know what's going to go on in the future, right? It's why we're seeing, paused hiring, paused investment, and revenue losses. And so that's why we need the government to create that certainty.
Finding an off-ramp from the U.S. tariffs has been a challenge. With an August 1st deadline for a trade deal looming, those negotiating on Canada's behalf are trying to leverage our long-standing relationship and natural resources.
Copper, lithium, graphite. We do have better leverage than others, but again, it's like dealing with the mob bus right now. So the law doesn't matter, leverage does.
There are some replacement parts made for the big auto manufacturers, which are CUSMA compliant, meaning no tariff, though many of these aftermarket items made for used cars are slapped with a 25% counter tariff by the Canadian government.
Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with First Nations leaders this morning to talk about their concerns over Ottawa's National Projects Law.
If this is a success, I think it's getting a solid commitment from the Prime Minister of discussions of how free, prior, and informed consent will be implemented.
First Nations leaders say their rights were not respected as Bill C-5 was rushed through Parliament last month. The law gives Ottawa new powers to fast-track major development projects considered to be in the nation's interest. First Nations leaders say they're not against development, they just want to be involved in the approval process for projects.
5 and Bill C-5 are pieces of legislation that attempt to bulldoze over First Nation rights and lands.
Ahead of today's meeting, 9 First Nations in Ontario launched a legal challenge against the federal law, and a similar one passed by Queen's Park. After today's meeting, Prime Minister Carney plans to meet with Inuit and Métis leaders. Here's a look now what's happening along McPhillip Street. Looks like there's a little bit of a haze in the air there, but overall traffic is moving well here. No issues to tell you about.
All right, 6 degrees right now, one of our coolest mornings that we've had in a while. Noticing that smoky air coming back in again, though, as those winds have shifted out of the west over the last hour or so. They are on the lighter side still, just 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 91%. I was saying first thing this morning, after experiencing south winds overnight, that the air seemed the clearest and the freshest that we've noticed in a while. And still no advisories or statements issued across the most southern part of the province. East Central Manitoba remains under that statement, along with parts of northwestern Ontario. But this is the bigger concern, and that's the air quality warning regarding the heavy smoke that's moved into northern Manitoba. Over the past couple of days, it was hanging out in Saskatchewan, but a west wind has brought a lot of that through. Now, our winds out of the west, we might notice that air quality deteriorating a little bit, but into the afternoon, those winds should be shifting out of the southwest again. So yes, it's going to be smoky across parts of northern Manitoba. Perhaps a little relief come with some passing precipitation. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm, boot of the thunderstorms, but yes to the rain. We'll take all of that. High teens, low 20s expected pretty much across the province. So for northern Manitoba, these are back up to seasonal or maybe even slightly above seasonal values. That chance of precipitation, very, very welcome. Hopefully no lightning strikes to go along with that rain. Through southern Manitoba, 26 degrees normal for this time of year, so still a little bit shy of that, although temperatures will start to warm up a little more so than they did yesterday, and tomorrow a little warmer than today, and so on, right back up to those seasonal temps this weekend. Enjoy the sunshine or the somewhat clearer sky this morning, and like I said, less smoky, but not 100% in the clear. We'll hope that with those south winds later today, things continue to improve. There you can see we're back up to the seasonal temps as we look ahead to the coming weekend.
Thank you, Terry. She's got the keys to a brand new business in car sitting. Meet the young New Yorker turning parked cars into her next big idea. ABC's Danny New reports.
People are claiming that women are not good parallel parkers, but I'm incredible.
A few weeks ago, 29-year-old Sydney Charlotte made a career change.
I put good juju out there that there's a parking spot.
And it's taking over the New York City parking system by storm.
If you live in New York City and need to move your car for street sweeping,
it started with this TikTok video, immediately picking up hundreds of thousands of views.
I'll sit in your car for a fraction of the price of a parking ticket.
As she presented herself as a professional car sitter for hire. One commenter writing, "This is the ultimate side hustle."
He moves them from one side of the street to the other so you don't get a ticket. What, are you paying for that?
Of course, there is a Seinfeld episode with a similar concept, but George Costanza did not have the benefit of social media.
I printed out flyers to hand them out to people, but I haven't even needed to do that.
In reality, Sydney moved here from the West Coast a few months after being laid off from her job and picked up on this sort of loophole herself. Now, all throughout the week, New Yorkers are paying Sydney to move their cars and sit in them during allotted street sweeping hours. And in her experience, police officers do not write you a ticket if you're present.
What do you say to the cop? You just smile and wave?
Yeah, he just smiles. He just sometimes doesn't even look at you. This morning I was like, good morning. He's like, good morning.
From there, Sydney will just sit in a stranger's car for hours. I thought that sounded boring at first, but then I remembered young millennials have a trick for quietly passing time, even with company.
Never mind.
Speaking of company, less than a month in, Sydney already wants to expand the business.
Oh, too small.
and next hire more folks to join her army of professional Big Apple automobile occupiers. And so far,
I have more people sending me their resumes and asking if they can work for me than I almost do customers.
and for folks who do not have someone like Sydney, here is one alternative. This comes from our studio manager, Nick, who says he notices people sitting in their car for hours until the street sweeper comes, and then, as you see, immediately move their car back so they don't lose their precious spot. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
That's genius. And collections come in all shapes and sizes. This one is on the larger size. An acreage owner in Alberta now owns 91 vintage tractors. CTV's Kevin Fleming got a look.
There's a story behind almost every tractor that Don Ellingson and his wife Beth have purchased over the last 35 years. Don says this is the first time his collection has all been in one place. Now he has a hobby farm like no other.
80 to 85% run, and the other ones, some of them don't run, but some of them will be lawn art. Because if they have steel wheels, they look good on the corner of the fence and the tires don't go flat.
Ellingson was drawn to the Massey Harris brand before it changed to Massey Ferguson in the 1950s. He ended up with 107 tractors at one point, and now that's down to 91, and all up for auction.
It's time, and my health is starting to fail me, being an old mechanic, and it's time to sell the acreage and move somewhere where somebody else cuts the grass and shovels the snow.
Beth was an art teacher for 32 years and sketched and painted some of the tractors in the collection. She supported Don in his constant search for new machines, but it wasn't always easy talking to her friends about his unusual passion.
And of course they envision toy tractors. No. And for some people, they just shake their head and kind of like, what the heck?
The couple celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary in early July.
But it was our 15th wedding anniversary, being married in July, you know, holidays and such. We went to an auction that was in Manitoba, and I got a tractor as a gift for our anniversary.
Don says most of his tractors are worth $1,500, but some of the restored machines will fetch closer to $10,000 US. He says the hardest one to part with will be the tractor that started the collection, the one he purchased from his brother. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, west of Calgary.
That's cool. The Winnipeg Sea Bear season continues, and we want you to be part of the action. The Sea Bears will hit the court against the Edmonton Stingers on July 25th. So if you want to be in the stands, we've got the contest for you. CTV Morning Live is giving away a family pack of 4 tickets to the game. Head over to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and hit our contest page for all the entry details. Don't miss your shot. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Good morning. It is 7 a.m. on Thursday, July 17th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Now, the Manitoba Historical Society has just released its top 10 endangered list of buildings that are in trouble right now. We're going to delve into why they have this list and some of the buildings that are in trouble and why they're in trouble and why it's important to talk about it. So we're going to delve into that. We're also going to, in our community connection, tell you about the School of Rap. But first, your headlines. Firefighters hold the line near Thompson. Crews cut brakes as wildfire threat looms. Plus, e-scooter injuries spike across Canada. New data shows who's getting hurt most. And hold the mayo, bring the appetite. A giant salami becomes 400 sandwiches of pure Italian pride. All right, bringing in Terry now. It's a cool start this morning.
Yes, but I've been informed by Director Kim that yesterday was the perfect day. Oh. Now, she doesn't offer validation anywhere near as often as I ask for it, but she told me that yesterday was the perfect day, and more of that, please. And Rochelle, I think that I might be able to deliver on this one. Let's hope, anyway. It's 6 degrees, so cool again to kick things off this morning. Winds on the lighter side, they're out of the west right now. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 71%. Now, remember, yesterday was a little bit smoky first thing in the morning, so to me, I feel like the bar is kind of down here. Anyway, I thought that the air was a lot cleaner first thing this morning. That's when the winds had been out of the south through most of the night. Now they're out of the west, and I'm just starting to notice a bit of that aroma back in, but certainly more so through northern Manitoba. That's where the smoke warnings are in place for now. We do still have this air quality advisory issued through parts of east central Manitoba. Obviously, you can see most of the south here is in the clear as far as the air quality goes, but also as far as the clouds go, we're really not seeing much. You can see the satellite image doesn't have a whole lot to show you this morning. Later on today, we might start to notice a bit of precipitation moving into parts of northern Manitoba. With the smoky situation, we will welcome that. So showers, maybe some thunderstorms across the north. Here in the south, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing rain really until the other side of the weekend. So another dry day ahead, a little bit below seasonal, cool starting out. We will be making some gains and perhaps get a degree or two warmer than yesterday. I hope that doesn't set Director Kim off. But anyway, we'll see how it plays out. Tomorrow afternoon, southwestern Manitoba and west central Manitoba have a chance of showers or thunderstorms. I mentioned it's going to be pretty clear and dry for us until the other side of the weekend. So on Monday, that chance of showers with a few more clouds building up Sunday, and back to the seasonal temperatures Saturday, but a slow climb up until then. And our art today to show you is from 8-year-old Zoe. Thank you for this beautiful painting, Zoe. Quite a talent, I see. And we'd love to see your art, so draw, color, or paint for us. Keep the pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
A string of vehicle thefts has left one neighborhood in Winnipeg shaken. Over the last several days, some residents have woken up to their vehicle being stolen by a tow truck. CTV's Alex Carpa now on the crimes caught on camera and the suspects in custody.
CCTV video captures the moment Tiffany Schritt's vehicle was stolen. A truck can be seen quickly attaching a lift under the hood of her vehicle, and in less than a minute, it's gone.
It's just bizarre.
Schritt says she never thought she'd ever have anything like this happen to her. She says it's taken an emotional toll on her and her husband.
Like all we want is to get our vehicle back. Honestly, that would be the simplest thing. We had a lot of things in the truck, a lot of tools in the truck, a lot of stuff from the lake in the truck, a lot of personal items. So yeah, it's really, really invasive.
Police have arrested 2 suspects in connection to these thefts and have seized 2 tow trucks used to steal the cars, but didn't release the suspects' names or charges. Tia Sawa was stunned as she watched her car get stolen in the middle of the night.
I was just getting ready to go to an appointment, and then when I walked out, I noticed the van was gone, and then I kind of thought, oh, I could have sworn I parked it there, and I checked the back, it wasn't there, and then I checked the cameras, and sure enough, at about 1:30, someone had taken it.
The investigation into this case remains ongoing, and police did not disclose any motives behind these car thefts, but they did say more information will be released in the coming days. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Efforts are continuing to keep nearby wildfires from advancing on the city of Thompson. In a Facebook post from Wednesday evening, the city of Thompson says firefighters, including crews from Mexico, have extinguished flare-ups and cut trees to make fire breaks along Provincial Road 280. In other areas, control lines and fire breaks are being set up along the city's fringes in several directions, including near the airport. The post says while there is not any significant precipitation due in the next few days, the fire danger level is considered moderate due to humidity levels. Rain is predicted for the area next week. As well, residents are being reminded to stay well away from fire crews as they work. A handful of potential measles exposures to tell you about. Health officials say they are the RM of Roland Workshop building last Tuesday through Friday between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. The Walmart in Winkler on Saturday from noon to 2:30 p.m., as well as the Boundary Trails Health Center surgical unit on Friday from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. Anyone at those locations during those times is encouraged to monitor for symptoms for about 3 weeks. Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced new measures to boost Canada's steel industry.
Canada to build big things fast. We need our steel industry to advance, not retreat.
By the end of July, Ottawa will tighten the quota for steel coming from countries without a free trade agreement with Canada to half of 2024 levels. Anything beyond that will face a tariff of 50%. This measure is meant to reduce the amount of foreign steel coming into Canada. Much of it has been diverted here after the U.S. imposed tariffs on the global steel industry in March. Carney also announced companies bidding on government projects will have to use Canadian steel. He says these measures will help Canadian steel producers sell their products domestically, since they've effectively been shut out of the U.S. market since March. The main stage at Belgium's Tomorrowland EDM Festival has burned days ahead of its planned opening. Fireworks can be heard going off as the stage burned Wednesday. Around 1,000 staff members had to be evacuated because of this massive fire. No one was injured. The festival is supposed to start tomorrow. Organizers say the campsite for the festival is still scheduled to open today as they work on finding solutions to their destroyed stage. The fire is under investigation. New data released this morning says injuries related to e-scooters are on the rise. People say there need to be clearer rules on their use.
We need to rethink how we're doing our paths and who's on it, and make sure that people know the rules of the road, and they don't.
The Canadian Institute for Health Information says hospitalizations involving e-scooters are up across the country from 2022 to 2024. The rise was biggest for children aged 5 to 17, up 61%. Most of the riders who end up in emergency departments were not wearing a helmet. Rules on where people can ride e-scooters differ depending on where they live, but the report says even in places where they aren't allowed on like roads or paths, those rules are being ignored. What's the best thing to do with a giant salami? Start making sandwiches.
And that led us into feeding the shelters and all the people that are slightly underprivileged.
The Italian-Canadian Club of Guelph, Ontario was gifted a massive salami by an area business, so they decided to turn it into a gift for others. Teaming up with a few local shelters, they started making some authentic Italian sandwiches. That means no mayo, no mustard, just a little bit of salt and pepper and lots of salami. By the end of the day, there was enough to make more than 400 sandwiches. Looks good. All right, taking a look now what's going on Osborne Street. Looks like traffic volumes are still quite light at this hour. No real issues to tell you about at this point.
Canada's benchmark stock index, the S&P TSX Composite, rose by about 1/3 of a percentage point yesterday and will begin today's trading day at 27,152 points. Stocks also rose in the United States yesterday, and futures contracts on the 3 main U.S. stock indices were higher this morning. Canada's Alimentation Couche-Tard has given up its pursuit of the Japanese company behind the huge 7-Eleven chain of convenience stores. Couche-Tard, based in Laval, Quebec, criticized 7-Eleven's owner, 7&I, for refusing to hold genuine discussions on a potential takeover. Buying 7-Eleven would have been Couche-Tard's biggest acquisition by far. It would have cost about $47 billion US. Finally, PepsiCo reported a second quarter profit of nearly $1.3 billion US. The company said it performed well in its non-North American markets. In addition to Pepsi, PepsiCo owns the Gatorade, Lipton, and Quaker brands. From the BNN Bloomberg Newsroom in Toronto, I'm Paul Bagnall.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's playing around at Old Market Square this morning. The Winnipeg Fringe Festival is upon us now. What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't have very much talent. That's for the Fringers. I stole one of our next guest, Sarah Teagle's hoop here, and I'm going to give it back to her. There are, now she's running after it because I didn't even do a good shot. There are over 150 different performances, 93 new ones here at Fringe. The Cube, where we're standing in front of, is an excellent spot to see these roving ones. And what's new this year is that there's an opportunity for the acts to give you guys a little bit of a preview. So if you're not exactly sure which Fringe show you want to catch yet, you can get a little snippet of that from them. There's Kids Fringe. There's opportunities for accessibility with ASL interpreters. There's tons of food options, many different venues. And when you talk about the scale of this, whether it be international or local acts, it's an opportunity for over 700 individuals, whether they're directors, magicians, or more, many of which we're going to be chatting with today, to really craft and hone their act, all for us to see locally.
And have so much fun while you're doing it. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it smelling out there, Terry?
Not bad. Honestly, I didn't notice the smoke this time when I stepped outside. Also, as I was making my way up the stairs, because I knew I did the update and I passed that on to graphics, I know that the temperature is a little bit warmer. And I was like, oh, at 9 degrees, am I ready to leave the jacket inside? And I thought I was going to regret it, but I don't. Honestly, the sun is throwing a little warmth our way. We've gained 3 degrees just this past hour alone. Still on the cooler side, I suppose, compared, I mean, relatively speaking, and a little bit below seasonal, with 13 degrees being that normal low. 9 right now comes along with a 9K wind out of the west. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 91%. There's a lot of 9s showing up on that map right now. All right, sunshine to kick off your day. We'll be seeing that pretty much all throughout southern Manitoba all day long. Northern Manitoba, you might begin the day with a little bit of sunshine, but later on into the day, some precipitation to come, which we will welcome because that air quality warning, it's back in place, talking about all of this smoke through much of northern Manitoba. So air quality very poor this morning with those purple warnings back in place. Here in the south, no air quality warnings or even statements have been issued. I was saying it smelled a little bit smoky last hour, but I'm noticing some improvements. Winds today expected to shift out of the south. We'll continue to see those improvements and a pleasant high of 23 degrees.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's time to check in now on our question of the day. We want to know which Manitoba performer or band you would love to see headline a summer festival here. Our question of the day has moved from Twitter, so now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. It's Thursday and time to pause for a moment because it's Pet of the Week time. Say hello to Mackie, a stylish little kitty who's soaking up summer in her cutest hat. Just look at this face. Mackie's serving serious fashion vibes, and that's exactly why she's perfectly our Pet of the Week. Congrats, Mackie. You've catwalked your way into our hearts. Got a pet that deserves the spotlight? We want to see them, from dogs and cats to birds and bunnies. Send us your cutest pics and a fun story. Email us at petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then tune in every Thursday between 6 and 9 on CTV Morning Live to see if your pet pal is featured. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this. Good morning to 7:16. 2 teens are recovering in hospital after being shot near the Winnipeg airport in an area where wildfire evacuees are staying. Police say it happened around 2:40 p.m. Tuesday in the 1800 block of Ellis Avenue. 2 males aged 18 and 16 were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. However, one is in unstable condition and needs surgery. A police spokesperson couldn't confirm whether or not anyone involved is an evacuee, but their press release notes police liaison teams are visiting evacuation centers to ensure everyone feels safe. An update now on an alleged hijacking of a small plane near the Vancouver International Airport. A suspect has now been charged in connection with the incident. According to court documents, Shahir Kasim is now facing 1 count of hijacking. This all comes after operations at BC's largest airport were briefly disrupted when a Cessna 172 began circulating nearby. But it landed safely, and the suspect was quickly arrested by RCMP officers. Sources have told CTV News the pilot was attempting to draw attention to the climate crisis, but authorities haven't confirmed details about the incident. More than 50 candidates are now registered in the Alberta by-election, where Pierre Poilievre hopes to win back a seat. Dozens of independent candidates are running in the riding of Battle River Crowfoot. The list stems from a coordinated effort by an electoral reform group, which is aiming to break records during the by-election. Poilievre lost his seat to the Liberal candidate in the Ottawa area riding of Carleton in the spring election. 91 candidates were registered. Now, former Conservative MP Damien Currick gave up his seat, paving the way for Poilievre to replace him in the riding. The by-election is set for August 18th. 2 Winnipeg parks may soon be renamed in honor of a pair of decorated Manitoba curlers. Councillor Brian Mays has submitted 2 motions, one of which would see Berkeley Square Park in Charleswood changed to Don McEwen Park, and the other would rename Lindenwood Drive West Park in Linden Woods as Caitlin Laws Park. Both women are accomplished curlers in their own right, but were also members of legendary skip Jennifer Jones's team, helping bring home a gold medal at the 2014 Winter Olympics and capture a World Women's Curling Championship in 2018. May says parks have already been named after Jones and second Jill officer, and it's time to recognize the rest of the team. The motion goes to City Council on Thursday. Here's a look now at what's going on along the St. James Bridge. It looks like things have slowly picked up over here, as you can see, but overall moving quite well. No issues to tell you about at this point.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Time now for some entertainment news. The Winnipeg Art Gallery is opening its vaults and dusting off its collection for 2 new exhibitions.
As curators is to go into those vaults and see what kind of conversations we can have with modern contemporary audiences and choose artworks to come out maybe that haven't seen the light of day in a very long time.
And that's what they've done for Crying Over Spilled Tea and A Matter of Time. Crying Over Spilled Tea combines traditional teaware with other artwork to look at the history of the drink and those who've had to hide their truths or tea from others. A Matter of Time explores the concept of spiral time.
At the core of this exhibition is this idea of experimentation, but also movement, how one might move across space, whether it's an exhibition space or just any other kind of space, but also how one might look at art.
An opening celebration of the exhibitions will take place this evening. Both exhibitions will remain at Wildfire York through next year. Every castle needs a groundskeeper.
Did you ever make anything happen? Anything you couldn't explain?
Earlier this week, we got a peek at Dominic McLaughlin playing Harry Potter in the new TV series. He was in his Gryffindor robes, and now we're getting the first look at Nick Frost playing the role of Hagrid. The series is expected to debut in 2 years.
Where was he?
That's the original Hagrid. We'll talk about that in a bit. Your primetime lineup kicks off at 7 with Transplant, followed by Good Cop, Bad Cop. And E-Talk wraps up the night at 10:30, all right here on CTV.
I wanted to see him because yesterday I noticed that the new, whatever his name is, we'll learn his name as he gets more famous, but he looked exactly like Daniel Radcliffe in those early years, right?
I've seen the guy playing Hagrid. Not bad. It's not a bad selection.
All right.
Yeah. You'll have to wait.
I guess I will. Stay tuned. We're not going to show you. Here's a look outside through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. That's fine. We're not going to show you that. Take a little break. Go step outside. It's gorgeous out there this morning. A little bit cool. Very pleasant for those of you that haven't been loving the hot temperatures that we had, say, earlier this summer. Well, we've got a nice break from it. And now we've got nice cleaner air this morning. I was saying I noticed a distinct difference from this morning to yesterday morning when I still thought it was pretty smoky out there. 9 degrees, so we are starting to warm up. Our coolest temperature was 6, which put us well below seasonal, 13 degrees normal for a low. And all of southern Manitoba is still below that. We've got Kenora coming in at 13 degrees. Our warmest temps in Manitoba right now are the 11s that you're seeing through the Morden, Winkler, Portage, Gimli areas. Northern Manitoba, you've had a milder start to your day, now mid-teens for many of you, or at least into those double digits. The air quality so much poorer, though, across northern Manitoba, and those warnings are back regarding the heavy smoke in the areas. We still have the statements or advisories here through east central Manitoba. Nothing issued through much of southern and central Manitoba, though, regarding the smoke, although we're lucking in right now because we had those south winds overnight, and even later today, those winds, which are right now out of the west, will be shifting back out of the southwest, so kind of keeping the air a little bit cleaner. Not much to show you as far as clouds go. A beautiful sunny start to the day. It will be warming up, just not drastically so. Low 20s expected by midday. That goes right across the entire province, and all of us expecting similar temperatures. 23 degrees is probably where we'll top out. Northern Manitoba does have a chance of seeing some showers or thunderstorms. You need the precipitation, so hopefully no lightning strikes, but a little rain would be welcome. A slow warm-up as we're looking ahead to seasonal temps this weekend, and lined up on the docks out at the Matlock Pier. Look at all these seagulls. Mine, mine, mine. Thanks to Diane for the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
That's a good movie. Thank you, Terry. Sometimes the last thing you feel like doing when you're sick is working out. But an Alberta team is studying how exercise after and even during cancer treatments can provide survival benefits. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Right trainer can make a big difference for your health, especially if you're dealing with cancer.
Oh, a tremendous difference. I was always active, but I never knew what the right thing was to do for my limitations.
Research is revealing promising data about exercise programs in oncology treatment, including an 18-year-long study on colon cancer patients from all over the world, recently published in the New England Journal of Medicine.
Hard data showing the survival benefits of exercise. And those benefits, they're comparable to what you would see with some of the drug treatments.
Validating but not surprising for the Alberta team who started this program for people with all kinds of cancer.
It's not just early stage cancers, right? We're seeing metastatic disease. We're seeing really higher risk cancers like neuro-oncology, brain tumors.
Participants range from recent post-cancer to those waiting for or in the middle of treatment. A specially trained team helps tailor exercises for individual needs and abilities.
We've had people contact and they'll say, I have a walker, can I do your program? And I think at first it was like, I don't know. let's try it out and see. And then we can see like, hey, we're able to get these people into the class.
The social side of class is just as important.
Just being able to talk to people that are in the same situation as I am just helps me greatly.
The program isn't currently funded by the province, but this group hopes that changes.
Because people need it. It will help them build confidence, build strength, empower them.
All vital for people who have faced a lack of control due to disease.
Just keep going. You gotta do these programs. You gotta live each day and make the most of each day.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
It's that time of year, Manitoba, and CTV and Chicken Chef want you to show off how you're soaking up the season. From concerts to getaways, whatever makes your summer magical, we want to see it. We've seen some amazing moments so far, and now it's your turn to shine. Show us your sunshine for a chance to win the $5,000 grand prize, plus daily $50 Chicken Chef gift card giveaways. And that's not all. You could also snag an Akona Aruba stand-up paddleboard from Wilderness Supply. So grab your phone and share your summer with us today. All right, coming up, more details on the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. The Winnipeg Fringe Festival is on right now. Ainsley is live this morning at Old Market Square, and there's a whole component of the festival that's geared just for kids. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Kids Fringe too, and if you head to MTYP today, the indoor venue for Kids Fringe, Sarah Tickle is going to be performing this afternoon. Sarah, I'm not usually a fashion reporter, but I do have to comment on your outfit because it is stunning. I know that you got some help though.
Yes, my sister actually drew it up, and I had Heather Lee B, costume maker here in Winnipeg, make it for me. So yeah,
it's perfect. I love it. When people come to your show, what can they expect? Because it's today, MTYP at
2:15 at MTYP. Lots of circus, so hula hooping, juggling, tons of silliness. Kind of my first time venturing into the world of clown, and it's fun for the whole family. So all ages and those who are kids at heart are gonna love it.
What does that mean for you when you're venturing into clowning around? How do you tiptoe into that world?
I mean, there's not much tiptoeing. You kind of just have to dive right in. It's just being silly. It's getting into my inner child and just thinking like a kid and just having fun.
Yeah. And Kids Fringe is great for that because it allows them to, they're not going to want to go to the grown-up shows, but something that they can relate to. Have you had fun doing this since 2017?
I've had so much fun. Normally I'm out here on the outdoor stage, so this is my first time in an indoor location, so I'm very excited to be doing a kids show that's more geared towards kids. Yeah.
And hooping you've been doing for well over a decade now too. What do you love about that?
Hula hooping is just so freeing. It's a great way to move your body. I've been doing it for 12 years now, so half of my life, because I just turned 24 in January. So yeah, it's just a great way to move your body and really great for mental health too.
Nice. I'm going to narrate as you kind of take it away. We'll step away from each other so I don't get whacked like I did to you earlier. But she's doubling it up here. Like we said, 2:15 today at MTYP. Lots of stuff going on at the Cube as well. Sarah, how many do you have going on?
4 hula hoops currently. Check this out, 2 different directions. Whoa.
And fire. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. I hope you guys head to the website as well, because there's over 150 different shows, 700 different participants involved from all over the world. We'll see you at 7:42.
Oh, yes, all the entertainment that'll be happening down at Old Market Square today, and a beautiful day to take it in. Cooler start to your morning, but it's already beginning to warm up. We're sitting at 9 degrees right now with the west wind 9 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising and the humidity at 91%. A few clouds out there this morning, but the air quality does seem to be better than it was yesterday, for example. Not the case across northern Manitoba. You can see all of the purple showing up on the map. The air quality warning back regarding the heavy smoke in the area, and still with that air quality advisory through parts of east central Manitoba. Not much to show you here on the satellite image. It is fairly clear right now. We'll enjoy that sunshine. Northern Manitoba may see a little bit of passing precipitation, possible showers, could be a thunderstorm. We're hoping there's no lightning strikes, but rain we certainly welcome. Low to high teens to low 20s is what we're looking at today. Maybe a little bit warmer here in the northwest and closer to what is normal for this time of year. Whereas southern Manitoba, we're actually going to be missing the mark of seasonal temps once again. Where 26 degrees would be a seasonal daytime high, we're likely to end up just into those low 20s today. And drier conditions with light winds. They're out of the west right now, but those winds shifting back out of the southwest later today. So again, keeping that cleaner air around, we're going to luck in that sense. And for the rest of this week, well, today and tomorrow, just shy of the seasonal 26, but we're back to that on Saturday. Heavier clouds Sunday, and could be seeing some rain into the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. When you visit a Manitoba community, there are usually old buildings and landmarks still standing that really paint a picture of how life began in that city or town. Some of these buildings are really showing their age and may have uncertain futures. The Manitoba Historical Society has just announced its annual top 10 endangered structures in Manitoba for 2025. Joining us now from the MHS is Gail Perry. Good morning, Gail.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, every year you do this list, and it's an important list. You go all over Manitoba. Tell us, before we get to that list, why it's important to preserve some of these old buildings.
Well, these buildings tell us something of our past, and if we have an understanding of our past, it helps explain our present, and maybe gives us a bit of a direction for our future.
We want to keep these buildings, right?
We do. I mean, they are often visually interesting. They have craftsmanship and materials that we may no longer be able to get our hands on, and it really does tell us something about who we were.
Okay, so you have the top 10 for this year. Why did you choose the top 10 that you did?
Yes, they are 10 representative buildings at risk. People might argue that there might have been others that should have been on the list. Okay. We'd love to hear, because we'll be doing a list next year. The whole idea is to have awareness of these buildings. So if we have awareness, maybe we can care about them, love them, and maybe want to preserve them. So our mandate at the Manitoba Historical Society is all of Manitoba. So we have buildings that are represented from all geographical areas. Well, maybe not the north this year, and we'll address that next year, I'm sure. But also all different kinds of building types. Okay. And so it just shows us that there are humble buildings, there are grander buildings, but they all tell stories.
Okay, so this list is quite thorough. There's some Winnipeg structures, of course. Tell us about those.
There are two this year.
Okay.
Yes, so there we've got the Peck Building at the gateway of the Exchange District on Princess Avenue and Notre Dame. We also have the Rover Electric Terminal Building, which is a industrial building, so something that people might not think of as a historic structure, and yet it was the building, it was the place that enabled electrification of Winnipeg initially. Wow. So it brought us into the 20th century. So very important. But we also have buildings all over. We have several in southwestern Manitoba. We have one in Brandon, the Hales House, a beautiful arts and crafts house, or craftsman style house from 1912. So think of a house with lots of leaded glass and beautiful molding. Now that's a loved building, but it's only had 2 owners, and you know, its future is uncertain because all around it there's development, multifamily, tall buildings. You know, will this building young survive to see a third family after well over 100 years.
Wow. And so by putting these buildings on the list, which you've done in the past, have you seen things happen to them that sort of gets them off that endangered list?
Well, there have been some happy stories, there have been some sad stories, and then some just continue to fester. So once a building's on the list, we don't put it on another list.
Okay.
But for example, last year we had Holy Trinity Anglican Church just across the road from the studio here. And you know, since last year, there's been funding that's been received through Centre Venture for a feasibility study to look at its situation. So that's a positive step. So, you know, years back, we had the Reuben Block in Riverview where neighbors really rallied to save that building. Well, now work is being done to have housing in there and, you know, a lovely, venerable building.
So it feels like it's working, this list.
It does. You know, it's a funny list because I call it venerable and vulnerable. You know, these buildings have to be special in some way.
Yeah.
But do you really want to make the list? It means you're at risk.
Right.
But it generates the conversation. It's like what we're doing right now.
Of course. And if you want a look at the list, we do have a link on our website. Thank you for sharing this with us. And of course, if you can help in any way, that list is there as well for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, taking a look outside right now. We're sitting at 9 degrees. It's trying to get sunny out there. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It is going to be a beautiful day. Director Kim tells us so. Perfect temperature, she says. 9 degrees right now. West winds 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. Technically, she said yesterday was the perfect day, but I thought yesterday was a little bit smoky, and today will be similar to that. But I'm noticing less smoke in the air, so I'm going to give it a thumbs up and say it's even better. For those of you that don't like a lot of heat, these days, today and tomorrow, are going to be pretty perfect. It might actually be a degree cooler. No. I think yesterday, it was a degree cooler than today, so maybe a little bit warmer, but very pleasant with some slightly cleaner air. You can see there's no issues regarding that air quality here through central or southern Manitoba, at least not enough of an issue to have prompted any sort of statement or a straight up warning, because northern Manitoba, you're back in the thick of it again. We've been noticing that smoke through the west, and yesterday it started to track further to the east, and now much of Manitoba, the northern stretch anyway, is under that heavy smoke warning. Not a lot going on the satellite image. There really won't be much to see today. A mix of sun and cloud, a high of 23 degrees. That is just a little bit missing the mark of what is normal for this time of year. 26 would actually be a seasonal daytime high. And the winds, part of why it was feeling so fresh and clean this morning is those winds were out of the south through most of the night. They're now out of the west, but later today shifting back out of the southwest, cleaning out that air again, or at least pushing that smoke further into the north. I know it's not ideal. It's got to move somewhere. 23 degrees is where we'll probably top out, and then down to 12 overnight with just a few clouds. Still, those south winds expected overnight, and tomorrow south winds remain with a mix of sun and cloud, and maybe a little bit warmer yet at 24 for our high. 26 is seasonal. We'll get there by Saturday with the sun still shining over us, but the heavier clouds moving in by the end of the weekend, and then finally we should be getting some rain by the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about the Winnipeg Fringe Festival. It officially began yesterday. You're going to introduce us to one of the performers. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. It's a double whammy because we got a director, creator, and a performer in Heather and Julie. Tico freaking Brahe is the name of the production, and it's a musical. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's inspired by some YouTube videos that my husband and I saw a couple of years ago about a real-life Danish astronomer from the 16th century who had a golden nose and a pet moose and a clairvoyant jester, his own island, and it just seemed like the perfect material to, you know, make a musical out of.
That sounds like a lot to unpack. So, which is awesome. As an actress, there's a lot that goes into this production. Tell me about who you play and the other cast as well.
Sure, yeah. I play the Queen of Denmark, and I'm also an ensemble member. The Queen of Denmark was a very good friend of Tico. She and her husband, the King, funded a whole bunch of his research, and the cast is really fantastic. There's 11 of us, all Manitoban cast and crew, and we've been working since April, rehearsing about 12 hours a week, if not more. It's a choreography-heavy, song-heavy rock opera with rock and rock stars and real stars, and it's just a real fringy, wonderful original musical.
And so for Fringe, this feels like a pretty large-scale production. It's premieres tonight, so talk about that, and then just the scale of it as well.
Okay. Yeah, we open tonight at 9:45 at Venue 1, MTC, and it's... Kiss the Giraffe was started 21 years ago, and we started with the idea we just do this fun little vampire musical called Bloodsuckers, which a lot of people who go to Fringe know. And it turned into this 11-person musical with singing and dancing and sets, and we're like, why go small? Touring productions have to keep it small because they pack it in a car and a van and they go. We're local, so we just take advantage and we go big. So this is the biggest show I think you're going to see on a Fringe stage, and probably the best deal at $14. It's pretty elaborate. There's a lot of production values.
I hope people see it as well. One of the biggest and best Fringes in the world. We'll have a link on our website.
Thank you, Ainsley. Manitoba's Ethics Commissioner has ruled the Minister of Innovation and New Technology did not break the province's conflict of interest law. The opposition Progressive Conservatives accused Mike Morose of being in a conflict by answering questions about a 911 service outage while owning shares in TELUS. Ethics Commissioner Jeffrey Schnur says Morose did not make government decisions involving TELUS, and there is no ban on ministers owning shares in publicly traded companies. The Tories said the 911 disruption occurred at a time when a 55-year-old man had a heart attack and loved ones were unable to get through. If you want to keep adding candles to your birthday cake, a new study recommends following 7 steps. Dubbed Life's Simple 7, they are being smoke-free, exercising, maintaining a good weight, having appropriate blood pressure, controlling blood sugar, and managing cholesterol. An honorable mention went to getting enough sleep, which is still very important. Researchers based their findings on nearly 500 studies on various body systems. The results were published in the Journal of the American Heart Association. RCMP in southern Manitoba are asking you to keep an eye out for a rather hard-to-miss item that was stolen earlier this month. Mounties in Carman say someone stole a windmill similar to this one from a property in the RM of Grey sometime between July 4th and the 6th. The RM is about an hour west of Winnipeg on the number 2 highway. The windmill stands about 25 feet high with 6-foot blades. RCMP say there's a good chance someone in the area has seen it. Anyone with information is asked to contact Carman RCMP. Here's a look at what's happening now on Donald Street. Things have really picked up over here, as you could see. But overall, traffic is moving well. If you see any problems out there, please let us know. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.37. The provincial average is lower at $1.31. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.30. The lowest price in the city is $1.19. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Hello there, Kara Waglin in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we take you to Orlando City, facing NYCFC. New York with a corner in the 87th minute. Pedro Galese makes a great save, but then Rodrigo Schlegel hammers the clearance right off Kyle Smith into the net. Smith, knowing nothing about it, is credited with his own goal. NYCFC actually scored again to win the match, but unlucky leveling goal is your must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, Week 7 in the CFL kicks off with the Argos and Montreal squaring off. Coverage that one begins at 6 p.m. Central Time. That's all from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
TSN Must-See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, where size does matter.
Just noticing I'm going to need to give my flowers a bit of a drink again today. It hasn't been hot, but it has been dry. We haven't been getting much in the way of precipitation, well, throughout the province, but certainly not here in the south. So I'll be watering them on my own today. Northern Manitoba could get watered courtesy of Mother Nature. We'll talk about that in a second. Right now in Winnipeg, it's 9 degrees with west winds 9 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 91%. 9 degrees now, up from 6 degrees last hour. So it was a cool start, but we're already making those gains. Plenty of sunshine out here. Air quality isn't terrible. We have no advisories issued across southern Manitoba, and it certainly is better than yesterday. Might improve even more so as these winds shift back out of the southwest later today. They're currently out of the west. Now, northern Manitoba back with the heavy smoke lingering and all of the warnings in place as a result. You might get some relief later today with the possibility of some precipitation passing through. Showers, maybe thunderstorms. We're hoping not for the lightning strikes, but we will take whatever rain is headed that way. And in fact, anywhere through the province, we could use some rain. Doesn't look like we're going to get that until next week. So, like I said, I'll be watering my own flowers today and expecting some low 20 temps.
Manitoba's underrepresented voices from Black, Indigenous, Filipino, and diverse youth are being given a chance to be heard thanks to a new reality show. The School of Rap, and that's School with SK, is a rap reality show that allows youth to express themselves through hip-hop education and expression. Joining us now to tell us more about the School of Rap reality show are Bridget Clemente and rap instructor Annika Price. Hello to both of you.
Hi. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Now tell us a little bit about how this all began.
So School of Rap is dedicated to youth education about hip-hop and as well as self-expression through music. It started off as, it's actually founded by Chris Sharp, Black Film Manitoba's founder.
Yeah. So how does rap and hip-hop allow youth to express themselves? What is it about that genre of music that just allows them to really get their emotions out there?
Just like how you would express yourself through style, I think people express themselves through music. So usually when people rap or create songs, there's usually meanings behind this. And I think that's how hip hop and rap's basically allowing youth to express themselves, especially these days, right? People are becoming more fond of hip hop and rap, especially in our generation.
Okay, so you put out a plea on social media, right? So how did that work?
So on social media right now, we have little ads posted up about calls to action, basically asking for more local artists to come, join with us, help us create this awesome reality show. If you're a local artist, don't be shy, hit us up. We're just School of Rap on Instagram. That's SKHOOL of Rap.
And why is it important for kids to have this sort of outlet through music?
I think when we are able to express ourselves and know that we have a platform to do so, it makes us a lot more motivated to do that. I think if I weren't so lucky to be an instructor on this is an opportunity that I would be seeking out as an artist. It gives us motivation to keep working on our art, to keep growing in our art. And I think without an opportunity like this, it can feel very daunting because there's no safety net. But here, at the very least, you've gotten yourself started knowing that you can still work your job or be at home with your parents and you still have that safety net, but you've also been given the opportunity to share your art and express yourself and do what you love most, and that's extremely important.
And do it with others who are like-minded.
Exactly,
as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so how does this turn into a reality show?
So School of Rap, it explores all the behind the scenes. It comes from the pre-production of how music is created. So it starts off with like how the process of beat making is, or like it's from pre-production to them putting themselves out there. So we get to see the full-on behind the scenes of what's happening. It's unfiltered, it's raw, it's authentic, and it's inspiring.
That is so cool. And then you're gonna release an album, and you're gonna have a year-end concert as well, right? Tell us about that.
So the School of Rap album is actually being produced by two local artists, Karan and Garcia. We will be following their journeys as they mentor the local artists. And And at the year-end concert, we have no further details about that, but it's a really
You're working
big,
on it.
Yep, it's a big thing. And
Cool. Okay, so
exciting.
you already have 8 youth that have signed up. They're from ages 14 and up. You're looking for more. So if this is something that interests you, or you know a youth that might like this program, we have a link on our website for more information. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Anytime.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
All right, coming up, we're live at the Winnipeg Fringe Theatre Festival at Old Market Square. We're going to introduce you to more performers after this. Stay with us. It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy birthday, Delaney in Edmonton. Love from all your family and friends in Manitoba. Happy birthday, Steve. Love Mom, Dad, Perry in Oakland. Happy 31st birthday, Cammie. Love from Cullen and Nini. And a happy 90th birthday to Harry with love and best wishes from your family. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and then fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for staying with us here on CTV Morning Live. Now, those wildfires continue to burn in northern Manitoba, and that is affecting our air quality all over the province, really. We're going to hear from the Manitoba Lung Association on what are signs of trouble and what you could do to protect yourself. But first, your headlines. On the hook, Winnipeg police announced arrests, but few other details in a rash of vehicle thefts by tow truck. Up in the air. U.S. security authorities may be about to consider ending restrictions on liquids. And elegant, simple, and perhaps soon to adorn the necks of many Canadian athletes. We get a look at Winter Olympic medals. Bringing in Terry now.
First, they let us through with our shoes on, and now maybe some liquids. Air travel, though a little more expensive, or a lot more expensive, maybe is getting
back to normal.
Well, yeah. What is normal anymore?
I know,
anyway?
exactly. It's been so long since we've been dealing with this.
We welcome those changes, though, my goodness.
Absolutely. And the air quality, how is it today?
Also some changes in that sense, too. Yesterday morning, it was pretty smoky out there, but today, after south winds throughout the night, I was noticing distinctively cleaner air. Now, we're noticing winds out of the west, and just over the course of the morning, I was starting to smell a little bit of that campy aroma again, but we are likely to see those winds shifting back out of the southwest later today, and so still with some improvements expected. 9 degrees with a 9K wind out of the west with the pressure rising, humidity at 91%. 9 degrees is up from 6 degrees. That was actually our coolest temperature this morning, so we kicked things off on a bit of a chilly note, or crisp, if you will. Not bad, though, and as I was saying, with these cleaner air, I was even recommending cracking a window first thing. Now, not the case. Obviously, you can see things are looking pretty dire once again with the heavy smoke warnings back through much of northern Manitoba. East central Manitoba remains under that air quality advisory. Nothing like that issued here in the south. And as I mentioned, shifting winds later today could even see some more improvements. But it just means things are less pleasant through parts of northern Manitoba because that smoke, it's not like it ever really dissipates. It just keeps moving around. So heavy up through northern Manitoba, where some improvement may come in the form of showers, kind of dampening some of those smoke particles. There you can see into the afternoon the possibility of some precipitation. Not likely to see anything like that here in the south. I was saying I'm going to have to water my own flowers. Southwestern Manitoba may tomorrow get a little bit of passing precipitation. Our likelihood of that, very slim. Probably not until next week will we get that rain. So today, tomorrow, Saturday, dry and sunny, heavier clouds moving in by Sunday, and then that rain expected for next week. Thank you to 8-year-old Zoe for this beautiful painting that you've drawn or painted for us. We'd love to see your art. Keep it coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. It's the story you saw first on CTV News. Brazen car thieves using tow trucks to swipe vehicles off Winnipeg streets. On Wednesday, Winnipeg police say they've arrested 2 people and seized 2 tow trucks after several instances of vehicles being whisked away in the middle of the night.
Now, when I watch the video, I kind of can't help but laugh at just how fast it was.
Tia Sawa shared the security camera video from Monday night with CTV News. As you can see, an unidentified tow truck quickly backs up to her red 2005 Dodge Caravan, slides the wheel lifts underneath, and takes off with it, all in less than 30 seconds. We can now tell you we've learned that Winnipeg Police Services Property Crimes Unit has arrested 2 suspects in this case, and they've also seized 2 tow trucks.
I trust that the Winnipeg police are going to resolve things quickly and people are going to get their vehicles back, hopefully in working order, and things can just resume back to our regular lives.
This is the second incident like this that we've reported on this week. There's no word on whether or not police have found Sawa's Dodge Caravan or any other stolen vehicle. Police are being tight-lipped about the case, only saying, quote, as this is very much an ongoing investigation, we will not be accommodating further comments at this time. An updated release is expected at a later date, and at that time, we will have more we can disclose. Anyone with information regarding stolen vehicles, including surveillance video, is asked to contact the Property Crime Unit or Crime Stoppers. The Trump administration hinting another major change could be coming to airport security and liquids restrictions in carry-ons.
But I will tell you, the liquids, I'm questioning, so that may be the next big announcement is what size your liquids need to be. We're looking at, our scanners. What we have put in place in TSA a multi-layered screening process that allows us to change some of how we do security and screening.
The rules have been in place since 2006 after a foiled British terror plot. This comes on the heels of U.S. transport authorities saying people no longer need to remove their shoes to pass through screening. No word when liquid limits could be changed or if Canadian authorities would follow suit. A face familiar to and beloved by Canadian football fans will be back behind the microphone starting tonight. Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber great and Hall of Famer Milt Stegall will rejoin the panel on TSN for tonight's broadcast of the CFL game between Toronto and Montreal. He has not appeared on air since the sudden death of his son Chase on June 2nd of this year. In a social media post, Stegall says he will be on the panel on location in Winnipeg Friday night as the Bombers host the Stampeders. In the post, Stegall says his son would want him to be back on the panel, quote, showing up with passion and purpose and having fun with this game and this crew. Organizers of next year's Winter Olympics are showing off their medals.
Low profile medal, but at the same time it's really elegant.
As you can see, they're definitely simple but elegant. The medals for Milano Cortina 2026 have the Olympic rings on one side with the event details on the other. A total of 245 gold medals, 245 silver medals, and 245 bronze medals will be presented, hopefully many of them to Canadians. Here's a look now at what's going on Portage Avenue. Looks pretty light here still at this point in the morning. No issues to tell you about. If you have any traffic tips to share with us, please go to our X page, CTV Morning.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Let's go back now to Old Market Square. We're seeing some performers from the Fringe Festival that officially kicked off yesterday. Good morning, Ainsley.
Well, Rochelle, our next guest is 7 performers in one. Her name is Tara Travis. Till Death, the 6 Wives of King Henry is the name of the, I say performance, but it really is a lot of performances. Please explain.
It is indeed. It's a kind of a marathon of performance. One at a time, each of the former wives of King Henry VIII arrives in this anteroom in purgatory. They kind of fall down the shaft of light, and then they are trapped in this room and given the assignment to decide which one of them gets to go to royal heaven. It's like the Uber heaven with Henry. Only one of them gets to go. They fight it out. They learn a lot about each other. And meanwhile, it's all me. And I am playing all of them.
What did that do for you mentally, preparing?
The first time I did the show, I was a wet rag at the end, honestly. I think it was all this blur, and then at the end, I just kind of melted in a puddle on stage. Here in Winnipeg, actually, is where the world premiere happened in 2012. But at this point, we've been doing the show for many, many years, and now it's a polished diamond. I've got it in my body, you know. Each of the characters live inside me. You know, they've each got their own voice and life. They're each ready to make their offers and show the world how beautiful they are and, like, maybe make some new friends or whatever. And, but ultimately honor the stories of these wonderful women who are defined by a man and how they died. And that's frankly not fair. That's frankly not fair.
I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm so overwhelmed. But you did say that audiences really love this one. What is it about it that really captivates them?
I think a lot of folks are interested in Tudor history, first of all, right? And the fact that the way that Ryan has constructed this, Ryan Gladstone, the artistic director of Monster Theatre, which is celebrating its 25th year this year, the way he's constructed this play, you really get to meet these women and know them and understand them in a way that history books can't illuminate their stories. And so you get invested. You get so invested, you know? And it's just the magic of it is remarkable. By the time Henry shows up, you know, there have been audience members who are like yelling and screaming at him, and it's still just... Oh.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
I have no other choice.
Now I don't know who's talking. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Well, the Prime Minister revealed new measures to help boost Canada's steel industry, which has been battered in the wake of Donald Trump's punishing tariffs. And as the U.S. targets Canada, CTV's Heather Wright tells us who Canada is now targeting.
This Hamilton, Ontario steel fabricator has been in business for 70 years and had been sending nearly 70% of its products south of the border. Now that number is close to zero.
This is Steel Town for a reason.
The Prime Minister was in Hamilton announcing measures to help Canada's steel industry. By the end of the month, Ottawa will tighten the quota for steel coming from countries without a free trade agreement like China and Turkey to half of 2024 levels. Anything beyond that will face a tariff of 50%. This measure is aimed at reducing foreign steel that has flooded the Canadian market, much of it diverted here after the United States imposed tariffs on the global steel industry in March. And with Canadian steel producers effectively shut out of the U.S., Mark Carney says this will help them sell their products domestically.
For Canada to build big things fast, we need our steel industry to advance, not retreat.
As Canada embarks on massive infrastructure spending, the Prime Minister also announced that any companies bidding on government projects will have to use Canadian steel.
We will change the federal government's procurement process to require companies contracting with the federal government to source Canadian steel for government contracts.
The tightened quota and increased support for laid-off workers announced come after the steel industry said measures announced last month didn't go far enough.
We got things going on south of the border. We can't control all of that. But what we can control is here in Canada. Let's make Canada the best.
Asked about ongoing trade negotiations with the United States, the Prime Minister would not say what level of tariffs Canada would accept, nor would he say whether Canada would impose additional retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods. He said both were good questions, but said answering them in the midst of trade talks would be a bad response. Heather Wright, CTV News, Hamilton, Ontario.
All right, looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It does look a little bit hazier out there. Now at the airport, Environment Canada registering smoke. I was suspecting I was starting to notice that bit of an aroma. The winds have shifted ever so slightly now out of the northwest. Now, northern Manitoba, conditions are far worse. Straight up smoke warnings in place with the advisory there through East Central Manitoba, and no advisories have been issued for us yet, but we are starting to notice those conditions deteriorating slightly as those winds have shifted out of the west, northwest, but a southwest wind is still expected for later on this afternoon, so I'm very optimistic and keeping my fingers crossed that we start to notice those improvements through the day. For northern Manitoba, yes, there is that heavy smoke, but perhaps a bit of passing precipitation will help kind of dampen some of that smoke and help with the situation regarding the fires. We don't need lightning lightning strikes, but we will welcome every bit of rain. We may see some of that precipitation through southwestern Manitoba for tomorrow. Not as likely here in the southeast. Conditions will probably remain pretty dry through the rest of the week, and even warming up slightly. Next couple of days still a little shy of seasonal, back up to 26, normal for this time of year. Heavier clouds, and then finally a little bit of rain. We might have to wait until the start of next week. We're taking a break right now. We'll be back though with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning, it's 8:15. The Winnipeg Sea Bears season continues, and we want you to be part of the action. The Sea Bears will hit the court against the Edmonton Stingers on July 25th. So if you want to be in the stands, we've got the contest for you. CTV Morning Live is giving away a family pack of 4 tickets to the game. Head over to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and hit our contest page for all the entry details. Don't miss your shot.
Canada's benchmark stock index, the S&P TSX Composite, rose by about 1/3 of a percentage point yesterday and will begin today's trading day at 27,152 points. Stocks also rose in the United States yesterday, and futures contracts on the 3 main U.S. stock indices were higher this morning. Canada's Alimentation Couche-Tard has given up its pursuit of the Japanese company behind the huge 7-Eleven chain of convenience stores. Couche-Tard, based in Laval, Quebec, criticized 7-Eleven's owner, 7&I, for refusing to hold genuine discussions on a potential takeover. Buying 7-Eleven would have been Couche-Tard's biggest acquisition by far. It would have cost about $47 billion US. Finally, PepsiCo reported a second quarter profit of nearly $1.3 billion US. The company said it performed well in its non-North American markets. In addition to Pepsi, PepsiCo owns the Gatorade, Lipton, and Quaker brands. From the BNN Bloomberg Newsroom in Toronto, I'm Paul Bagnall.
With wildfires still burning across Manitoba and other parts of the country, Environment Canada has issued many air quality advisories here. This year has been recorded as Canada's second worst on record. Smoke in the air can really affect people living with respiratory illnesses. Joining us now from the Manitoba Lung Association is the president and CEO, Juliette Muka. Good morning, Juliette. Bonjour.
Hello, Rachel.
Hello. Now, tell me a little bit about the wildfire smoke that, it feels like it's been hovering over our city, over our province since all these wildfires began. It really can cause some damage, right?
It surely can, and just like you just said, 2025 season is very aggressive, but what we're caught off guard is it started so early this year, so it's lasting a long time. So at Manitoba Lung Association, we actually want to educate and make people aware how they can take care of their lungs, especially during our summers are so short here in Manitoba. So how can we still protect our lungs, but take advantage of our summer activities and all the events that are going on as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about what the haze does. So there's sediment in the air, right, that you're breathing in?
So the wildfires, the smoke contains particle matter. So, and that can travel hundreds of kilometers that we've seen. So all the fires that are happening in northern Manitoba, we see with the winds, it's all travel. So we've seen it the past few days. We've had days where air quality health index have been at 10+, which is what the scale is, which is high levels where we need to take precautions. Obviously, those who are most vulnerable, those who have lung conditions, asthma, COPD, pulmonary fibrosis, but smoke can affect everyone's lungs. We have one set of lungs and we need to take care of them. So how do we do that? And that's what we're here for. Okay, and so let's talk about that, because it could you're breathing it in and then it builds up this sort of residue in your lungs, right? It makes it hard to breathe and you're coughing up phlegm. Well, you'll feel that when you go outside. Let's say a day that you didn't check the health quality index that day and it's at a high level. You'll feel it. Maybe you're taking a run or a bike ride outside. You'll feel maybe your eyes are drying up, you're having trouble breathing, a little weight on your chest, gasping a little bit there. So maybe those days, maybe go on Manitoba Lungs website, check the AQHI, which is the air quality health index. And if it's high, maybe just change your routine a little bit. Maybe work out indoors for the next day or two. Make sure you consume lots of water. Hydration helps reduce inflammation on your lungs as well. For those who are most vulnerable, wear an N95 mask. It's well adjusted, making sure those are the ones that we recommend more than surgical masks or the cloth masks, just to kind of keep those particle airs out. Close your windows and doors, have your AC on. Most homes who have ACs, air conditionings, will already have recirculation mode, but just double check to make sure for those who have window or portable air conditioners. Have an air purifier with a HEPA filter, and you can't afford one of those or can't find one, go on our website at Manitoba Lung Association's website, and we have a little DIY DIY project, maybe make a little project with the kids while they're on summer break.
Really? How does that work?
So you just have a box fan and you have a furnace filter. The instructions step by step are all on our website. And what a great way to protect your lungs and a little activity with the kids at the same time.
Okay, so what would be signs of trouble that for someone maybe who has asthma or someone with COPD, what would be signs that they're in trouble?
Well, obviously, you'll see anyone who has asthma, a typical asthma attack. You'll feel it. Listen to your body. We often say that. You know how your body feels. So if you're feeling that weight, making sure you have your kit ready, especially at these times during wildfire season, making sure, talk to your doctor, your pharmacist, making sure you know you have your puffers, your medications ready, especially if you're in areas where you might have a chance of evacuation, as we've seen up north in Manitoba. Right. Having that ready right away in case you need that, to take those precautions for your lung health. So yes.
Any other advice for people at home?
I encourage everyone to just, we have a lot of Manitoba events happening. Enjoy, but take precautions. Bookmark our website. Go check out the air quality in your area before leaving, just to see how you might need to adjust your routine.
And maybe take out your mask once again.
Exactly.
Okay, merci Juliette. Thank you for this.
All right, I got my jug. Remember, I was saying I'm going to water my own flowers today, and I just went inside because I was out here, and Director Kim's like, "You're coming up," but I needed to get them a drink, and it had to be right now because I didn't have to be right now. But at some point this morning or through the day, you should water your flowers, knowing that they're not going to get a drink from Mother Nature probably until Monday. I'm talking on the other side of the weekend, so a stretch of dry days ahead. Yes, it's been on the cooler side, but now it's starting to warm up again, and we're getting closer to those seasonal temperatures. 13 degrees, speaking of warming up, and winds, they shifted out of the west-northwest. Starting to notice a little bit of that smoke now with that just north element to those winds, and even out at the airport, Environment Canada has started to use the smoke icon depicting what we're experiencing right now. I do suspect that we'll get some improvements later on today as those winds shift back out of the southwest. We can keep our fingers crossed. Otherwise, if it weren't for the smoke, a pleasant day expected with some sunshine and slightly below seasonal temperatures. For northern Manitoba, your temperatures are also going to be up into those low, almost mid-20s, which is closer to normal for this time of year. But northern Manitoba does have the possibility of some showers, maybe some thunderstorms, not ideal, but showers we will welcome. Here's a look at all of the seagulls lined up maybe for some treats out at Matlock Pier. What an incredible picture Diane captured there. Keep the photos coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Winnipeg's favorite cultural celebration is back, and we want you to go. Folklorama returns from August 3rd to the 16th, and we're giving you the chance to win a pair of 2 tour visas, giving you access to explore all 44 pavilions. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and enter the clue word world. Good luck. There is imaging technology that could revolutionize the way doctors diagnose breast cancer. ABC's Melissa Adden reports.
Doctors may soon be able to diagnose breast cancer earlier. 2 recent large-scale studies found ways to detect previously missed breast cancer on mammograms. Researchers at UCLA are using artificial intelligence to detect cancer on mammograms previously considered clean. And another study found that a special imaging technique called radiomics can be used to detect cancer on mammograms not visible to the human eye. These promising studies come at a time when breast cancer rates are increasing, particularly in younger women. While these new technologies are still under investigation, enhanced screening may be right around the corner. For now, make sure your screenings are up to date. Experts recommend screening mammograms every other year, starting at 40 years old. If you have a family history of breast cancer or other health problems, you may be at elevated risk, and doctors may recommend starting screening at an earlier age. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A local nonprofit group raises money for people living with autism by hosting pop-up markets throughout the year. The Ansam Foundation is hosting one of those markets this weekend. Joining us now from the Ansam Foundation is Paula Mosen. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's start with the name, Ansam. Tell us what that means.
Ansam means together.
in Haitian Creole, which is where I was born, though I grew up in Montreal. And it means together, meaning together, we need to get together to be able to address the problems and the obstacles faced by the autistic community as they age out of school, out of services, and so it takes a village, basically, together.
Now, your son was misdiagnosed with ADHD, but has recently been diagnosed with autism. And so tell us about some of the challenges you saw and why you felt you needed to create this foundation.
Well, when we finally got the diagnosis, and we had to go through private means, which is expensive, but luckily we had insurance to get a proper diagnosis, we thought, well, great. We will be able to access all these services that all throughout the years we weren't able to, and it will help him because he wanted to go to university, only to find out that there were no services. There are, but there aren't, and meaning you really have to dig. There are wonderful organizations like DASH that try to cater, and that do cater, but you have to know about it. And if you don't know where to look, when you get the diagnosis, then you don't know how to access those services. So the foundation, the ultimate goal would be to have a drop-in center where we can center all these services, refer people to those that already exist, and create those services that are not in existence. For example, vulnerable children with autism become vulnerable adults with autism, meaning they are prey to fraud. So there needs to be a protection. Even though they're adults, there still need to be support. And for parents also, because through the markets, I have met a lot of parents who have adult children who don't know what the next step is. So we drive them basically metaphorically to the edge of the Grand Canyon, and we tell them, you have to get over there. Now that you're an adult, you need to get over to the other side of the canyon without any guides and without any support whatsoever. So it's frightening for anybody. I mean, even for the youth who are adulting, as they say, it's a frightening prospect. So imagine not knowing where to go from where you are.
And so you created this foundation to help families, guide them through some of these difficulties. These pop-up markets are the way you do that, because you're raising funds. Tell us a little bit about what's happening and who the vendors are.
We have for this, we have 3 dates, and for this, the 19th, we have vendors that have been with us from the beginning, even when things were dismal last year. We have the Cookums Bakery. They do Bannock, and they have a wonderful program to rehabilitate youth and adults as well. And we have people that do T-shirts. We have fresh vegetables that we get from the local farms that are pesticide free.
So if somebody wants to check out this market or this pop-up market, where is it happening and what time?
It is happening at the YMCA. On Portage West. And so we are very grateful for them to give us this opportunity. And also we support their program, which is Strong Kids, that completely sponsor children and teens with memberships.
Well, that's wonderful, and thank you so much for creating this foundation. If you want more information on the pop-up market and how to support the foundation, we have a link on our website. Thank you, Paula.
Thank you very much.
It is getting a little bit smoky outside once again. 13 degrees is warming up too. We're now back up finally to what is normal for this time of year for a low temperature, but it took some time. We actually started out at a much cooler 6, but we've been making those gains now. We've also gained a little more of that smoke, unfortunately, as the winds have shifted slightly out of the west-northwest. They're still on the lighter side to 7 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 75%. Yeah, just that little nuance with the west-northwest wind, and suddenly you've noticed a big difference. But a southwest wind is still expected for us later on today, so hopefully we'll get some improvements back again. Unfortunately, not the case. It's just been deteriorating situation across much of northern Manitoba, with the air quality warnings back again, and that statement or advisory regarding the smoke still lingers in east central Manitoba and parts of northwestern Ontario. And while we are not back under an air quality statement or advisory, air quality is still at 3, which is considered okay or good. But again, it's these shifting winds, which hopefully will shift back in our favor again. Not much to show you on the satellite image. It's looking on the clearer side. We may notice a few clouds here or there. And 23 degrees are expected high today, so not a scorcher by any means. Maybe a little bit warmer than yesterday, dropping down to 12 overnight with just a few clouds lingering. Still with the south winds overnight, and again, south winds are ideal for us here regarding the air quality because it keeps all of that smoke pushed further north of us. 24 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud, and back up to the seasonal 26 by Saturday. From there, some heavier clouds moving in, and then finally a round of rain. We've been needing it, and we'll likely get it on the other side of the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. A $6.8 billion overhaul is underway for two of the province's big transmission lines. Manitoba Hydro is in the planning phase to replace aging equipment connected to the Bipole 1 and Bipole 2 lines. But the final price tag is not yet certain.
So it's possible the price could go up, the price could go down, the price could change, but we're doing that work right now to establish those facts.
Hydro says the work to modernize lines built in the 70s and 80s is needed now to ensure the system remains reliable. Hydro also says actual costs are dependent on the scope of the work, timing, and market conditions. Hydro is currently asking the Public Utilities Board for 3.5% annual rate increases for the next 3 years for its operations, and its long-term projection forecasts the same amounts. The Public Interest Law Center, which represents not-for-profit groups, says Hydro needs to prove why this project is so crucial now.
In the upcoming rate hearing, based on Hydro's history, our clients will be asking whether Manitoba Hydro's cost estimates are accurate and whether this expensive project is truly needed now.
That history includes the Bipole 3 line and Kiyask generating station that went $3.7 billion over budget. The current project is now in the planning phase with a timeline stretching to 2037. The hearing at the Public Utilities Board to consider the 3-year rate application is set for November 17th. A handful of potential measles exposures to tell you about. Health officials say they are the RM of Roland Workshop building last Tuesday through Friday between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. The Walmart in Winkler on Saturday from noon to 2:30 p.m., as well as the Boundary Trails Health Center surgical unit on Friday from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. Anyone at those locations during those times is encouraged to monitor for symptoms for about 3 weeks. We're learning more details about the hijacked plane in BC.
It was quite an orderly process. The aircraft landed, RCMP responded, the lone occupant was taken into custody.
Court documents show Shahir Kasim is facing hijacking and terrorism charges. We've also learned he's a former commercial pilot. Sources say the 39-year-old booked a tour in a Cessna in Victoria. At some point on the ground, he threatened the pilot with a knife. The pilot was able to get away. Then the suspect took off for Vancouver. The suspect apparently told air traffic control that his plan was to shut down the airspace for hours to bring attention to the climate crisis. There is new hope of delivering a deal as unionized workers get ready to vote on Canada's post a final offer starting Monday. Stalled negotiations between the Crown Corporation and 55,000 postal workers have lasted months. The latest offer includes wage hikes and plans for 7-day-a-week delivery. The vote will run between July 21st and August the 1st. It is watermelon season, and they're great on a hot day, but on a really hot day, you might want to check your fruit. CTV's Matt Gilmore has the story of the exploding watermelon.
It popped like a balloon. Water went everywhere.
You may have seen videos like this circulating online.
Can anybody out there tell us what the hell is going on with our watermelon?
Of watermelons oozing foam, the insides turned to mush. One CTV viewer who wished to remain anonymous because of his work sent us these pictures of a watermelon he bought earlier this month that exploded on his kitchen counter hours after he brought it home from the store.
It's actually a very natural process of fermentation, basically.
Food industry expert Sylvain Charlebois says it's actually not uncommon for watermelons to explode during extreme heat.
Sugar gets converted into gas inside the watermelon when it gets really, really hot, especially in the summer.
And because the peel is thick and airtight, pressure can quickly build.
You can easily make a natural bomb out of it because it's so tight and the gas will stay inside.
Charlebois says it's a good idea to check watermelons for bumps or dents before buying them. Signs the watermelon has already started to ferment, usually because of a mistake during transportation.
Sometimes there's a breach in the cold chain, which could actually trigger the process of fermentation prematurely. So by the time the product gets to the store, it's already too late.
It's most likely the reason this watermelon exploded shortly after it was brought home. Charlebois says you should never eat a watermelon that started to ferment and recommends taking it back to the store for a refund. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Let's take a look now what's going on Kenniston Boulevard in traffic. It looks like things are moving well here. Traffic volumes, though, are picking up, as you can see. No issues to tell you about at this point. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.37. The provincial average is $1.31. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.30. The lowest price in the city is $1.19. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's time now to check in on our question of the day. We wanted to know which Manitoba performer or band would you love to see headline a summer festival here? Marlene says, always love seeing Streetheart. Thank you, Marlene. Henry says Katie St. Germain. She's very good, thank you. Mike says he would like to see the band Lipstick 45. Thanks, Mike. All right, let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, and perhaps you want to see a performer at the Old Market Square where the Fringe Festival is happening right now. Good morning, Ainsley.
Well, our next performer, Keith Brown, is a magician, and I haven't seen him yet. He hails from London, Ontario, and I feel like I'm in for some surprises because I see a bag, I know you're going to do a trick, and it's suspicious is not the right adjective, but what can we expect?
Mysterious.
Mysterious, that's much better.
Yeah. What can you expect from the show? It's magic and storytelling. It's award-winning. It's family-friendly. It's fun for everybody. I'm playing the Rachel Brown Theater, no relation. We have 6 more shows as part of the Winnipeg Fringe.
That's a lot of shows, and you've done a lot of shows. You've been coming to Winnipeg for many years now. What do you like about this festival in particular?
You know, there's the vibe. There's the cube. There's always music. There's always people. The people are friendly here. People are like, tell me about your show. That was like the first time I was ever here. Someone was like, kid, tell me about your show. And I was like, how did you? They're like, tell me about it already. Like, people want to hear about the shows. They fringe hard. That's one thing that I always love about this. And it's a very great vibe to be a part of. And it's a nice community.
It's a very persistent Winnipeg child. I would like to meet that kid. The mystery bag.
Yes, mystery bag. Would you like some to find out what's in the mystery bag? I brought you a gift. I brought you a gift. Here, let me find it. Oh, this is actually some promo for me.
Okay. Back to you. No.
But no, I did bring you something in here. Let me see if we can get it. This is actually for you. This is nice and early in the morning. Some cold brew for you.
Apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar. Well, I also brought one for me. So yeah, cheers.
Mimosas. Mm-hmm. Mockmosas. I'm not going to take a sip of that. I don't know what's in there.
Mystery liquid from a magician. Cold brew. Cold brew.
Okay, I believe you.
Yeah.
I just had a second coffee, so you heard my laugh only gets louder. Cheers.
We can trade if you want. How about that? Cheers, everybody.
What sort of, I don't know if this is a silly question, but when it comes to magic, what sort of tricks do you do? Like, what's your genre?
I would say it's stuff with everyday objects, stuff you could find around the house or get from the store. There's tricks with drinks. There's tricks with cards. I tell a story about decks of cards. There's also like mind reading and mentalism. So you might make a drawing for me. You might shuffle some cards. You might come up on stage. You also don't have to participate if you don't want to. You're going to sit back and relax if you'd really like to.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Refreshing drink, wherever it came from. All right, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
Pleasant, and not that it's going to get hot, but it certainly is going to warm up from where we are right now. So yesterday, Director Kim went ahead and called it a perfect day. Now, it was a little bit smoky, but it was, I think, the temperatures that she was referring to, just a little bit cooler than perhaps what is normal for this time of year. And today will be, again, a little bit cooler than seasonal, but perhaps a degree or two warmer than yesterday, and certainly sunnier. Certainly sunnier is what I was trying to say. I got ahead of myself there. 13 clicks right now with the winds out of the west-northwest. They are on the lighter side, just 7 kilometers per hour, but that slight shift out of the northwest now has ushered in a little more of that smoke. Pressure rising, humidity at 75%. Now, we are likely to see those winds shifting out of the southwest for later on this afternoon. And if that does indeed happen, we should notice a slight improvement in the air quality. In fact, I noticed that air quality improved this morning after south winds overnight, so we can keep our fingers crossed that we do get that shift in our favor. For northern Manitoba, keeping our fingers crossed for some precipitation. And you may see some today, showers or possible thunderstorms. There too, temperatures will be just into those low to almost mid-20s. Same numbers right across the province today. Seasonal would be 26 here in the south. We'll get back to that for the weekend, but today and tomorrow just missing the mark slightly. A little more pleasant for those of you that don't like the hot temps. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Vacant, neglected, or at risk of being demolished, there are dozens of heritage buildings and historic structures around the province facing an uncertain future. And each year, the Manitoba Historical Society releases a list of these endangered spaces to highlight the importance of preserving the past. CTV's Daniel Homerson has more.
The Peck Building has stood here at the corner of Princess Street and Notre Dame Avenue for more than 130 years. It was first used as a clothing company's warehouse and later became a staple of the city's garment industry.
It spoke of a new century and of new hope for Winnipeg in its golden age.
But now the historic building sits empty and fenced off, and its future use is unknown.
Look at its location. It's in the heart of downtown Winnipeg on major routes.
The Peck Building is one of the Manitoba Historical Society's most endangered sites in the province this year. The annual list highlights buildings and structures threatened by neglect or redevelopment. Gail Perry from the MHS says the Peck Building made the list because of its distinct architectural form.
The fact that it marries Romanesque architecture, which you see all around the exchange, but also its addition is Chicago style.
Other places, some hiding in plain sight, tell stories of significant importance to Manitoba's growth.
They might even think it's some kind of prison because of this big concrete wall around it, and it's not.
The Rover Electrical Terminal in North Point Douglas started delivering power from Point du Bois to Winnipeg and beyond back in 1911.
This building, in a sense, is the beginnings of electrification of Manitoba.
It was only decommissioned by Manitoba Hydro about 5 years ago. The Historical Society's Gordon Goldsborough says the site will likely remain an electrical distribution hub, but worries the building itself is now obsolete.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to know, why are we spending all this money keeping this building up? Let's just tear it down and we'll get rid of that liability.
He says protecting, restoring, and adapting these types of spaces are keys to preserving Manitoba's history and identity.
It gives you insight to how we've got to where we are today so that we can then confront the challenges of the future.
Daniel Halmerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Other structures on this year's list include the St. Peter Danavar Rectory in the RM of St. Andrews, the Lake of the Woods Grain Elevator in Cameron, and the Lauder United Church, which served a small congregation in southwest Manitoba for 120 years. You can see the full list on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca.
It's one of my favorite day trips to take from Winnipeg. We're in Gimli. It's beautiful here. And we're going to find out about the Gimli International Film Festival. Just another reason, aside from the beauty of the town itself, to come on out here. Taya Zuzik is the executive director of the festival. So why don't you tell people what's going on?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, this year is our 25th anniversary, so it's a big year for us. And the film festival is taking place, as always, end of July. So our dates are July 23rd to 27th. And we have 5 days of amazing films, both in cinema as well as on the beach here in Gimli. So it's really exciting. We have a lot of really interesting programs, including the RBC Emerging Filmmakers Pitch, which went from $10,000 to $15,000 this year, which is really, really great for emerging filmmakers. And that's always fun to watch the pitch competition. And of course, our marquee event, which is the RBC Sunset Beach screenings, which happen here on the beach every night of the festival, 10 p.m. And this year we have a great variety of films, including Best in Show, Almost Famous, The Thing,
Those are some incredible titles to be hearing, but the backdrop itself, this is an experience that you're not going to get just in a regular theater or even popping on a film at home. So for that environment itself, it's worth coming up here, and you actually make it so accessible for people to come up here too, don't you?
Yes, so it's completely accessible. We have Moby mats on the beach so people with disabilities are able to come and experience the films. It's completely free, and yeah, spectacular. Sometimes we see the Northern Lights. Oh. This is something that doesn't happen anywhere else in Canada, so it's really special that we have it here in Gimli.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned the beach screening, so obviously that would be a true highlight, but there's the indoor screenings as well. So there's some stuff kind of happening all over the place.
Yeah, so we have 4 different theaters in town. Each theater will show, short films, narrative films, documentaries, all from around the world, Manitoba and Canada. That being said, we also have a variety of different competitions, like the 48-hour festival, which happens Saturday of our festival. And this competition is filmmakers had 48 hours to create a film, and they show it at our festival. So it's pretty sweet. And we also have Manitoba Shorts and competitions on Sunday of the festival, as well as the Young Filmmakers program, where young filmmakers get to show their films and talk about it in a Q&A setting.
All right, that all sounds so excited. And yeah, TikTok, what can you create in 48 hours? You'll have to come down here to find out. You make it very easy to get people from Winnipeg out here?
Yes, so we do have a shuttle service that operates from Winnipeg to Gimli round trip. $20 for anybody, but for pass holders, it's free. And it departs from 2 different locations in Winnipeg and allows you to stay for the entire day, including the beach screenings, and brings you back.
How easy, yeah, how easy is that? How beautiful is this? What an incredible experience. Just a matter of visiting the website to find out more information, yeah?
Yeah, totally. So it's gimlifilm.com, and we can't wait to see everybody at the beach.
Well, I can't wait to make a trip out here. You make it so easy, and it's going to be so much fun. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is going to be a beautiful day, especially if you're not a fan of extreme heat the next couple of days and even into the weekend. The weekend, we're just barely getting back to normal. 13 degrees, speaking of normal, would be a seasonal low temperature. Took a few hours, but we're finally here now with winds out of the west-northwest, 7 clicks. Pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 75%. That wind shifting out of the west-northwest just ushered in a little more of that smoke, and you can smell it outside ever so slightly. And at the airport, they're registering smokier conditions. Not enough to have prompted advisories here through southern Manitoba or around the Winnipeg area. Still, though, with them in place through east central Manitoba, and the full-out warnings. That's the case across northern Manitoba, where that smoke is heavier, denser, and a little more thick. Maybe some improvements will come today with some showers across northern Manitoba. No sign of precipitation here in the south until the other side of the weekend. Next few days, plenty of sunshine, dry conditions expected, and a slow and steady warm-up back up to the seasonal 26 degrees. Then the clouds move in and that chance of rain. So in the meantime, water your own flowers. But temperatures, like I said, a little bit cooler, maybe a little more pleasant if you don't like the heat. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We're coming back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we kick things off with a feline who loves her feathered friends. Oh my goodness, right when the black duck jumps onto the bed and gets a big hug from the cat. Maybe a little quacky, but after a little hesitation, the kitty gives kisses and a hug to her feathered friend. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay, there it is. I was like, that didn't look like a kiss. It was like, back off.
Now to another unique interspecies friendship. What is going on here? A curious canine and his bud, a hammerhead baby shark. The shark could have darted off any time, but looks like it's just enjoying swimming alongside its new furry friend.
As it lures it back to his mom.
Yeah, exactly. That's the plan all along. And lastly, an adorable game of peekaboo.
Aww.
This cute cockatiel can't contain itself, and the towel lifts up and has to say peekaboo to its owner. The playful bird learned from parroting its owner and now won't stop playing the game. That's cute. So cute. What a happy little bird. Yes, that does it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.